Let's do
What's up, everybody?
this. Bro. Um, yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Unlaced podcast. I am your host, Chris. Also, I'm here with my other host, Gabe.
What up?
How are you doing today?
Um, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. There's not a there's never really a bad day. I
Yeah.
mean, shit could be worse.
Yeah, true. Very true. I was
You
literally talking to my friend about that yesterday. I was I feel good, but like it could be a lot worse.
Exactly, man. I mean,
It could be a lot worse.
I'm not ecstatic about where we're at right now,
Yeah.
but it took a harsher turn on other individuals. So
True. Very true.
you know,
Oh, yeah. I've been seeing a lot of businesses closed that like not that shouldn't be closed, but it's like based off of the fact like they had to sell because they can't afford the
hmm
rent, and it's not it's like chain stores that are like, yeah, no, we can't.
yeah, it's crazy, man. How many businesses have been affected, but you try and understand, like, is it because they're really that dependent on day to day um like money making transactions,
Yeah,
or is it because their infrastructure was exploiting um like just the money aspect of it, to
hmm
now that there is no cash flow, it made everything tank.
I
um
think I think it would be I think it was more of it would be more of the just work, because you think of it like like a shoe store. Like when you try to like apply for like applications for brands like that, they want to know like what's your foot traffic, like where are you located, what's around that store, like how much exposure you're getting on a day-to-day basis. So I think mostly it's they're these places that are shutting down are in good locations, but they're one of many around,
hmm
and they
hmm
may not be the biggest like uh uh
dum, dum,
provider for
dum, dum.
that community. So it's
Yeah,
like we can't like we depend on people rather coming to CVS other than going to Rouse to get little shit. And
no, I
then
hear
if they
you.
don't, and when people start only going to Rouse when Rouse is closer than the CVS, then the CVS has to be like, okay, well, this location has to close because we were
That
dependent
makes
on
sense.
having people walking by and being like, oh, I'd rather go to CVS and get my toilet paper and my condiments for my food than going to Rouse and sitting waiting in line.
I said condiments.
Mm. That's the only thing I can think of. Like I go to CVS for stuff like that. I don't do like I don't like going to grocery stores for that stuff. That's unnecessary.
um
But yeah.
I mean, oh, so you're telling me you're not gonna go to the grocery store to buy some groceries? Because condiments are still groceries.
Oh, no, they're not groceries because I don't think they're groceries.
I mean, I feel you. Don't get me wrong. I buy my condiments at Target a lot of the times. Like, I buy a lot of random things at Target. I mean, I'm sure everyone does.
Back up a little bit from Mike. Yeah, you good.
I'm sure a lot of people buy things from Target.
Mm-hmm.
Random things.
Yeah.
I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
But like condiments.
No, I don't I would go to CVS or like a Walgreens before I went to Rouse to get my condom, and that's only if I'm not already. That's if like if I
Do you
don't.
have these places near you?
Yeah.
Like, what is the situation like?
It's Stater Bros, and then in that same plaza there's a CVS, but the CVS now is boarded up for because I think they were expecting people to loot, but it was like nobody's coming to CVS to loot of all
No
places.
one's no one's looting
So
in Palmdale, bro. Get
so
out
they
of
they
here.
literally they literally cut they literally cut that whole like they just basically took themselves out of the running because now maybe like 2 miles down the road there's a Walgreens and they
hmm
stayed open, but like
hmm
CVS it's still been boarded up, so it's like what do you like you just
They
took
cut the
yourself out
L.
of
Yeah.
and so then across the street is a Food for Less,
hmm
um and the Walgreens is in the same plaza as the Walmart. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you pick how you like how you want to do your flow of like shopping.
hmm
Usually the State of Bros gets a little bit more traffic just because it's a
I don't think
big
I've ever
rush.
been to a Stater Bros.
I like it. It's actually not that bad.
We have
They-
one here. I just never been to it.
Good prices. Good prices. Compare
I'll be on that food for less, bro. Of course they put food for less in the minority areas of
I never really
Pasadena.
liked food for less.
What?
I was
That's
never a
because
food
you
for
got
less fan.
money, bro, and you be
I
out
be
there
going to
buying,
bonds out here.
yeah,
I
or
spend money
or
on bonds.
organic life, bro.
I want to start shopping at Trader Joe's and see how that works. Like
You
I
be
want to see
at
like what that life would be like.
at
Pretty
Whole
much,
Foods.
yeah. Whole
You
Foods, Trader
you're one of
Joe's,
those dudes
fresh and easy.
that kept Gelson's around
Yo,
because
sis.
you was at Gelson's.
I went in there one time and saw the prices and was like, yeah, nah, I'm good. But it
Yeah,
was the same with fresh and easy. Like the prices were ridiculous. I was like,
you
I'm
use
done.
Sam's Club.
Did I ever do it? I did do Sam's Club at one point when I was living in Monrovia. I was doing
No,
Sam's Club.
it's all about Bosco.
I don't even know what that is.
That's Costco, man. You know,
Oh, Costco.
but you know where I'm at, man.
My
You know.
dad shopped at like my dad made it a like point to shop at Costco all the time. Like that was his thing. And like I said, when I was a kid, I was like, when I get older, I'm gonna get a Costco membership and I'm gonna,
Mhm.
do my dad thing. I'm good. I saw those membership prices and I was like, I don't shop. I don't do like I'm one person, so I don't do enough grocery shopping to be a Costco member.
Look, bro, that Costco membership it pays itself off just for the pizza. Because some certain locations require the membership to buy pizza now,
Oh, for real?
and some locations are moving pizza inside.
Just to make sure, like, yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta be able to.
yeah.
What was the point of the membership?
That's just what you need to shop there.
I feel like that's so stupid.
It is, but that's where they make a lot of their money.
How much are the memberships now?
Now I don't know.
Last
They're
time I
not.
checked, I think it was like 60.
Yeah, they're not. They're like $100 tops, bro. They have different tiers. But it's not. It's not like it's a monthly fee. You
Oh, it's
know?
not?
No,
Why
it's
do I always
not.
assume that like they had like a $20 a month thing? That's why I never
I
wanted it.
mean, they probably do. Like I said, I've seen different colored cards that have different things.
Mhm.
But I'm basic, bro. It's just Costco membership, the white one or the black one.
I might
Yeah,
look into that.
yeah. They
Well,
have
not right now
colored
because I'm
ones.
not sitting
Yeah,
outside waiting in line to get into a Costco. So I'm sorry.
yeah, bro. I'm
Nah,
just there for the pizza.
it's not necessary. But yeah, so
Look at us
welcome.
talking about
Yeah,
groceries. The
just being
Unlaced podcast.
just being adults out here. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. To all of our audio listeners, I have to start shouting them out because they're not going to see the things that
Audio
we talk about.
listeners,
So shout
Audio
out.
Technica.
Oh, true.
I'm
Come on,
just
Sid.
being weird.
Get your bars off.
Yeah.
Get your bars off.
He's spitting.
He's spitting.
Those are my favorite memes.
But yeah, shout out to all our people listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. Everybody that's watching us on YouTube, thank you for joining us there. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, but you listen to your podcast on Spotify, we're on Spotify. If you listen to them on Apple Podcasts, we're on Apple Podcasts. If you listen to them on Google Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts.
Google
If you
Pods.
like watching your podcast on video, we're on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So just got to give everybody their thing.
We're on all the right outlets.
On the ones that everybody uses, like everybody's. I had too many people say like, "Oh, I listen to my podcast on Spotify and I don't see you guys." It's like, all right, I got you. Don't worry.
All right, bro. All right, okay. My bad.
But yeah,
pay some fees real quick.
But thank you guys for joining us. It has been I don't know how to explain it. It's just kind of been it's been weird. Like I want to start this podcast off by saying rest in peace to George Floyd, rest in peace to Breonna Taylor, and everybody that and I send my deepest condolences to all the families that have been affected by any police brutality, any sort of excessive force, anybody that's been injured or hurt in any of the riots and protests at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing like every day. It's like there's a point where I have to always like turn like I'm off Twitter for today, or I'm off Twitter
Mm-hmm.
for a couple hours, because it's just like we see so many videos and it's like somebody getting pepper sprayed, and I know what it feels like to be pepper sprayed, and that shit is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see them like, and it's like point blank range, like that's, I know for a shit like that probably is the worst feeling in the world.
Oh yeah.
um and so I want to definitely shout everybody out that has been protesting and has been speaking out.
Yeah.
um and I don't want this to be like a dark podcast, because it's been dark times and I feel like people need something positive.
Yeah.
But it would be irresponsible of us not to talk about what's going on, because even
Mm-hmm.
in our culture and even in our community, we've been affected when it comes to streetwear, and it comes to shoes. Like, it's been affected as well. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff, but I wanted to first kind of get your thoughts on what's been going on, because it was Minnesota was kind of the break, because George Floyd, of course, died in Minnesota, and that kind of like started
Yeah. Yeah.
the whole uprising of everybody, kind of just saying no, we're done taking this, because we've had it
Mm-hmm.
before, we've
Mm-hmm.
seen it happen before, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's just to see it happen before our eyes as adults, like just give me your thoughts.
Um, I guess for initial thoughts is although it's a situation that unfortunate that has happened for so long in this country.
Mhm.
Um, it's really it's almost, I don't want to say uplifting because that's nowhere near where the feeling is,
Yeah.
but it's it just seems different
Mhm.
in terms of what we're trying. I'm not saying we, and like I'm a part of the
Yeah.
big picture, but as the people,
Mhm.
it, it's it's like you get a sense of, all right, maybe this is that one moment that has been pushed aside, pushed aside
Mhm.
for so long, that this may actually turn into something
Yeah.
that you know it doesn't seem like the people that are out protesting and all those players are taking short-term W's. Like, they want um change from this, they really
Yeah.
do. And I think it's the awareness is being brought to so many different levels, and it's not just in the US,
Mhm.
that stuff hopefully does change, man.
Yeah.
It's just ugly. There's
Yeah.
really no other word for and ugly to me is an ugly word.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't really like that word, but the situation that we're in, and how everything's unfolded, and how you're really seeing the true colors of certain people.
Yeah.
It's just an ugly time to really be in this country, for this country,
Yeah.
considering obviously we still have a pandemic,
Yeah.
and it's crazy to think that that scare or that idea of the initial pandemic
Mhm.
has been almost wiped out in some people's minds, because there is this agenda that we need to constantly push, which is why there's always why they're still protesting every day.
Yeah.
um so yeah, man, it's just it's an ugly time, but I fully support everyone out there. I think, and I hope that this really pushes the agenda and the envelope to really bring it to a level where we can address it on a systemic level.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
I think
Go
that's
ahead.
the biggest thing is, um we're we're talking what, 2.5 weeks now,
Hmm.
pretty much, of
Hmm.
people still protesting and still trying to make their voices heard. And for me, that's really big. And as a black man, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Obviously, hold on.
you know,
Hold
y'all didn't know. Oh yeah,
on.
for you audio listeners, I am black, just so you guys know. But for for this to be something that is
Oh, man.
like, this is something that has, like you said, this has been something that has been kind of, they do so, we fight back, and then it's, there is kind of like a time, a moment of like, okay, well, now we just got to get back to our regular life. Like, we've said
Mm-hmm.
what we had to say, but we got to get back to our regular life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this pandemic actually helped
Mm-hmm.
a lot, like way more than I thought it would, because a lot of people still aren't working. A lot of people still are working from home. So for you to be able to go out and protest and be able to, constantly stay at a,
I was thinking about that too.
yeah, like, you don't have like this, it does, you're not the country doesn't have the ability to be like, well, they have to go to work sometime. Like, if this was
And,
during the weekend, yeah, okay, they have to go back on to work on Monday.
and a lot of those people have nothing else to lose, bro.
Yeah, true.
Like they've lost their job. They've potentially lost where they live. You know,
Mhm.
they potentially lost someone to the pandemic. Like
Yeah,
at that point, like you're just out there trying to create a better life for yourself going forward and for the people around you and everyone else that's affected.
yeah. And it's like, I know, like, a lot of my friends are creatives, like they do a lot of like, they're into music,
Mm-hmm.
art and stuff like that. So this is like the prime time, especially for us, like we talked about it, like being in this gives us the ability to create and be able
Mm-hmm.
to, you know test new things out and see how things work, and we can be able to come out of this and be better. um but at the same time, it also gives us ability when something isn't when people of a certain race aren't getting treated fairly,
Mm-hmm.
we have that ability to still have that time to go out and have our voices heard. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people are doing that right now, and I really love to see it. And like, you see so many artists, like, that's a big thing for me, like seeing artists say like, hey, meet me here,
Mm-hmm.
and the crowds just show. And it's not a sense of um oh, I'm just trying to be near a YG or a Kalani or a J. Cole. It's a, they're out here, these are people that I look up to, or these are people that I follow, or these are people that I like their music. And instead of them just, on social media retweeting people's, retweets of, oh, we
They're
need
out there.
change, they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the greatest thing. Like, you seeing J. Cole just in North Carolina with Dennis Smith Jr.,
Yeah.
seeing Wale in DC in the streets, like, and just seeing them not even saying, "Yo, meet me here." It's just, no,
They're
they're
just
there.
out there. Yeah.
They're just there, and like,
Westbrook was
Russell
in
Westbrook and DeMar DeRozan,
Compton.
all
Mm-hmm.
them, like, that stuff is dope to see. And then Kendrick Lamar joined them and everything like that. So it's like
Yeah.
seeing them just go out there and, like, not, oh, we're gonna tweet and, hey, meet us at the corner of such, and like, no, we're gonna be out there. And that starts that of, they're out there, so I should be out there. um so
And to even go slightly more into detail,
mhm.
like they just show up.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think that's so genuine of them to not look at this as a PR stunt.
Hmm.
It's not for them to try and build a crowd around their name and
Hmm.
then push that to wherever. Like, nah, dude, they probably have like some type of manager that tells them like, hey, there's gonna be a protest in this area, and then that's it. Like they just show
Yeah.
up. Um, so that I think that's it just makes them that much more personable,
Hmm.
and it makes you or whoever are a fan of them like them more for being so much more relatable and down to earth.
Yeah. And so I'm glad to see that. I'm also glad to see, people, everyday people, just being out
Mm-hmm.
there and
Mm-hmm.
uh putting their in a sense, their lives on the line for
Yeah.
me, the people that look like me, and the people that are affected by, the system of racism. And
Mm-hmm.
seeing, and seeing people even if it's not like to our face, not understanding that
Mm-hmm.
the way that they treat us is make builds up a certain, it causes a reaction. So
Mm-hmm.
if you treat me like I'm a criminal just because of the color of my skin, the people around you are going to treat me like a criminal. So that turns into a mob of people looking at me as, oh, he's doing something when I wasn't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I like seeing people get the mirror put in front of them, and this has kind of done that for a lot of people. Like them, you see it with, there's a lot of celebrities, a lot of people that are influencers that I and so I don't want to get down this rabbit hole of this because I like it could go forever because but this is not like the podcast for that. But you see a lot of people say things that I feel like they are trying to say, and like they mean well, but because they've never experienced it, they don't understand the way it comes off. And I think that that's always a big issue with people is if you don't understand like what people are going through and you don't have those conversations with people that deal with that,
Mm-hmm.
when you try to lend support, sometimes it comes off as dismissive of what we're fighting
The
for.
actual topic
Yeah,
at hand. Yeah.
and so you've seen so many celebrities just get just steamrolled with them
And
trying to
and
be a part of this.
I really, 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 really like that, man. I not because we should be doing this to everyone, or not
Mhm.
because you got to tell someone when they're wrong,
Yeah.
but I like that this entire movement
Mhm.
has pushed the same agenda in every outlet.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. It's not singling one person out for
Mhm.
whatever they said. It's being consistent and pushing the necessary information in all directions.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's really big. And so I don't want us to like because I it's important, like it's really important to me. I
Mm-hmm.
know we've talked about it, and I know it's important to both of us
Mm-hmm.
of what's going on, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to like we can talk about this for hours and we can
Oh
really like
yes.
dive and but there's things that are happening in our culture that are also tied to this, so I'd rather get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Not rather, but I want us to dive into that because there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. But I do rest in peace George Floyd, rest in peace Breonna Taylor, um, you know rest in peace Kendrick McDade. Like that was a dude. I went to high school with him. We played football together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw him days before he was murdered by passing the police,
Mm-hmm.
and like so this stuff it hits home to me because you never usually know somebody that you personally knew that was dealt with police brutality or excessive force or anything like that. And I know I have somebody that dealt with that. My
Mm-hmm.
mom, her husband is the brother of Rodney King, and everybody knows the story of Rodney King and him getting like that was kind of like the start of police being filmed when they take their jobs, they take it over the line.
Mm-hmm.
And so having that conversation with my mom and being like, yo, what is that, like what did this feel like that? And she's like, it felt just like she's like, this is going longer than the 92 Rodney King verdict
Yeah.
riots, but also there's internet now,
Yeah.
so it's being transmitted everywhere. Whereas it was in LA and it was just kind of like,
A
people
latest
are,
problem.
yeah, LA's problem, people were handling it. And she told me stories about like how she felt because she knew Rodney King. She knew, her husband now back then as well. So like she was very close to the situation and like knew what was going on. And she just, says it's crazy looking at the world now and seeing what's happening now in the world and saying, wow, this is kind of similar. This has that same feeling, and
Mm.
and also it's spread out way more. Um, but yeah, so I just want to send my condolences to those families.
Likewise, man. Me
I,
as well.
I hope everybody. I don't wish any. I don't want anybody to have to feel what it feels like to lose somebody that you care about to something that could easily been resolved over a counterfeit $10 bill.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. Um, but I want to get to in this kind of in the same topic, but kind of try to. Well, I'm gonna actually switch these up because I don't want to keep on. I don't want to. I don't want it to be like just kind of getting down and then shoot back up. So let's start with um, brands.
Okay.
Brands came out and a lot of like pretty much every brand, like major brand,
Mm-hmm.
came out and made a statement of some sort.
Yeah.
Uh, I think, and I don't want this to be like a who won and who lost kind of thing,
Yeah.
but I think the one that stands out to me is Reebok. Uh, Reebok's uh, Reebok's statement, and it was a very short statement. It was just they in a sense said uh, they they've benefited from Black culture, and they have to stand with Black people in this time of need. And I
Mhm.
think, and you see like all the brands. That was the one thing that was like really
Theirs was very. It was very. How do I say this? Theirs was very. I don't want to use the word obvious,
mhm.
but like straightforward.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. It
Um.
was, and it would like it didn't like it wasn't. Hold on, I'm gonna get
You're
the
pulling
actual
it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the
Yeah.
actual statement because I don't want to miss words or anything like that. So I want to get the actual statement. Um, but yeah, so either way, they uh they come out. Nike and Adidas come out
Yeah.
with statements. They they and they all kind of like they were retweeting each other, which you don't really see when it comes to brands like that. But I think in this
That
time,
that that was pretty. You know.
yeah, you
Yeah.
see like
Monumental.
yeah, you see these brands kind of put, and it's like we know it's not like a real feud or beef with any of the brands. They there are companies that are in the same field, and they just have to they stand separate
Competition.
from each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to see them come together and really support each other's statements and make sure that they're following sees another brand statement to understand that this is all coming like this, we're all one at
Mm-hmm.
this point.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. And so Nike comes out with a statement, Adidas comes out with a statement, Jordan brand comes out with a statement a few days later. uh what did you think, like what was like, because they were all pretty like they were all pretty much the same, but they all had like very they because these brands, they understand that they are benefiting from Black culture and
Uh-huh.
urban culture, so they're all kind
Urban.
of yeah
We're
they were
getting
all
rid
kind
of
of
we're getting rid of that word now, bro.
yeah, true, very true. They were all kind of pretty much saying the same thing, but it was very apparent that they understood that how their success was off the backs of Black and brown people, really.
Mhm.
If
Yeah.
it wasn't, who knows where they would be. But yeah, give me your thoughts.
Obviously it's something you want to see and you're happy to see.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I guess beyond the statements, I I made this may be off topic,
Hmm.
but beyond the statement, I love that even if a big company did make a statement, and in this case, we're gonna look at Adidas.
Yeah.
I love that if a company made a statement and the people that work for that company didn't feel like it was genuine or felt like they were lying or knew that they were lying,
Hmm.
they didn't let it go by. And in this case, it was Adidas,
Yeah.
and I think for it to play out the way it did,
Hmm.
it's really like it's kind of grimy.
Hmm.
It's grimy for a company to try to get ahead and try and seem like they're with any movement.
Hmm.
and and in their core not really be about that movement. And I guess in this case it makes sense because Adidas. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but you would think that they would be more aware of the situation because they are German, you know,
Yeah.
and they've kind of already went through their own thing, and you would think that they could learn from their history and at least try and create something that isn't racist.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't work there. We've never been there. We don't know what it really is there, the work culture.
Hmm.
But for employees to openly boycott them and protest them,
Yeah.
that literally the day of, the day after, and the few days following,
Yeah.
I think it says more about them and how much we can believe about them,
Hmm.
and where they really do stand,
Yeah.
and what the people in charge really do mean. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
And
go ahead.
oh yeah, I wanted to stop there because I want to talk about that because they're they're
And it all
they're actually out protesting right now
and
in front of them.
it actually shows you. I'm sorry, bro, but
Yo, you're
this
good.
tying back. It's still on the same subject.
Yeah.
It just shows you how much power we have in numbers
Hmm.
and preaching the same idea and the same concept and just being in unison with everyone.
Yeah.
You know, if everyone can be aware and everyone knows the knowledge and everyone has the same agenda to teach the world about how racist America is,
Hmm.
there's some powerful people, dude,
Yeah.
in one group, and you can see how they changed the Adidas overnight,
Yeah.
and
True.
where they stood.
Yeah. And so I have Reebok's statement
Hmm.
here. It says, "Without the Black community, Reebok would not exist. America would not exist. We are not asking you to buy our shoes. We are asking you to walk in someone else's, to stand in solidarity, to find common ground of humanity."
I remember that
So
one now. Hmm.
yeah, so it's a very small statement, but
It's pretty
it,
powerful, bro.
it's exactly what like it needs to be, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
something I because I've noticed that a lot of brands have I don't want to say I don't want to say
Adidas also
pandering.
cut off one of their contracts, by the way,
Yeah.
with
Uh.
CrossFit.
Oh no, that was
I mean
no,
Reebok,
that was Reebok. Yeah, with
Reebok
CrossFit.
is
Yeah.
what I meant. Reebok, because
Yeah.
we're talking about Reebok right now.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just recently cut off their partnership with CrossFit.
Mm.
And I don't I because I just read about it, so I don't know all the details, so I don't want to like start
It
speculating.
was about basically that they didn't meet eye to eye, and it had to do with the owner or the CEO of CrossFit,
Mhm.
and basically just what's that word, differences of the subject,
Yeah.
so they
I
cut
think
him
there
off.
was like some. I think they said CEO, and there was like some racial tweets
Yeah,
or statements that had
yeah,
surfaced on him. So
yeah.
yeah,
So they just
which
did.
is right now is that like this is they're like people are headhunting right now,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I love it. Like
Mhm.
I think that
Well, we
we're all
got to come
human.
after Trump, fam.
Well,
All right, everyone.
he said
We
this shit in
got
front of everybody.
we like. Oh man. All
He
right,
said he
let's
said it in
keep
front of
going,
people's
man.
faces. So hey, but I think yeah. So he like I love the headhunting when it comes to people. Like I love this moment of like people need to watch what they say and be accountable for the things that they say. I don't care how long ago it was. You always have to be accountable for what you say. We are accountable for what we say on this podcast.
Accountability. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what, like no matter how long
Mhm.
we do this, if they come back to this episode and say, "Well, you guys said this about this," we have to be accountable for it because we're both adults and we both are aware of what we're saying.
Oh, of
We
course,
get a
100.
chance to rewatch it as well after we're done, so we get to be able to see like,
We're well
yo,
aware of what we're putting
what
out
we're
there.
what we're saying. And so, but at the same time, I think when creating this, I wanted us to be open with everything that we said. We're not,
No, of
um,
course.
and we had this conversation because we were going to talk about I think this was a couple episodes ago we were going to talk about it, but we kind of pushed back. I still want to have the conversation in a future episode. But uh, uh, Sean Witherspoon,
Oh yeah,
and
that's another dude.
his thing, him, talking about Adidas, and
And so much has happened since then, Chris. Like
yeah,
so much more that we didn't know about at the time that we wanted to talk about that.
yeah, exactly. And like I didn't know about it because it was from a podcast that he was guest on
Yeah.
the previous year,
Yeah.
and so people started unearthing that clip. It was
Mhm.
like a 2 minute clip of him, basically, saying that if Nike offered him a piece of shit, he would take that over whatever Adidas offered him or whatever. And so they started on the third because that was his because they had just announced that he was coming out with a collab with them,
With
and so
Adidas, yeah.
he had like a deal with them, and so it started the conversation of like how do because you see a lot of people come out and say like whoa, like they still signed him after this, and it was like and then people came to his defense of wanting to say, well, like how is he supposed to? And it's like, no, he's an adult. He
Yeah.
knows. Like you have like even if you come on this show and
I just want Reebok to know that I bought some Reeboks 2 weeks ago. So all right.
supporting
I'll
supporting
still
them,
supporting them, all right.
supporting them. But yeah, so it becomes a thing of like accountability, like just making sure that you know what you're saying. I want when we talk, we know that we have strong opinions on things, but we also know that when we're saying them, because we talked about this before, and we know that what we're saying is how we feel in the moment. We're not saying that we hate Adidas or we hate Nikes. We might hate a shoe, we might hate a release or an idea, but it's not like we're saying like, yo, Adidas or Nike is terrible. Never talk to us.
It's because what we come from a place where we have a genuine appreciation and a love for this culture
Yeah,
and for kicks and for everything that falls under it and branches off from it. So when we
yeah,
have these opinions, we're never really directed at a brand.
hmm
We're just talking out of what we're used to, what we've seen, what we want to see, what we
yeah,
haven't seen,
exactly.
what worked, what didn't work. These are just opinions that we've been into shoes for
Yeah,
forever.
no, yeah, honestly. Um, but yeah, so I wanted to get into so you talked about Adidas, and I want to end off with them on this topic because there was a kind of a switch up of how they did it. But Jordan Brand comes out, I think a couple days after their statement, or I think on their statement,
Mm,
they like or the like in that day they announced that they'll be donating $100 million
mm-hmm.
to help fund organizations for like the Black Lives Matter and like help
Yeah,
build the
so,
community.
social justice
Yeah,
programs.
and it was over the course of 10 years.
Yeah.
And so they've kind of set themselves to do a long-term build of all this, which I really like. I
Mhm.
because I think a lot of people, and it's weird because it kind of like this stuff kind of like becomes a stack because if you look back at the Last Dance, um, they talk about it.
I thought the same thing,
They
yo.
talk about Jordan and his like his like he because he didn't want to talk politics. He wasn't taking sides.
Mm-hmm.
And then the famous line, Republicans buy shoes too.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the line?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of like his that, and so then people ran with that like, oh, Jordan doesn't care about causes or anything. It's like he explained it like to me he explained
Yeah.
it perfectly. Like I have my feelings towards things, but I'm a basketball player. I am not a politician. I'm not an activist. I
Which
just
back
play
then,
basketball.
it was probably a bit more suppressing
Yeah,
to just be a hooper. You know,
yeah,
you didn't have that outlet into Hollywood
yeah,
or LA. Much like I mean, probably back then the only players that had it like that were Magic Johnson, maybe.
yeah. But I think that was the argument that they were trying to make in it because
Yeah.
like Jordan was the top of the league.
Mm-hmm.
He was the face of the league, and for you to kind of like not put yourself out there,
Oh yeah,
people
I get
felt a
it.
certain way about that. And so, um, but it's crazy that it comes full circle because he has a chance to make a difference, and he does
And
in a big way. And
yeah.
I think I think that was great.
Hmm.
Um, and so Jordan Brand does the 100 mil,
Yeah.
and then Adidas comes with
How
20
many?
mil.
How many Virgils is that? Let's do the math.
Ooh, how many Virgils?
If it's
Uh,
2 per 100, and there's 10 in 1,000, and then 100 and 100,000.
I
So
sucked at math.
yeah, that's a lot of zeros going on
I
right there,
sucked at
bro.
math. Um,
Let me do the math right now.
but yeah, so then Adidas comes with a
100
20
million.
mil,
Or
100
they
million.
changed it. Yeah, they changed it after the
Well, yeah,
fact.
so they initially did 20 million, and then after, like you were talking about with the employees of
That's
Adidas,
that's 2 million Virgils.
2 million Virgils. Jeez. Um, with
Oh man.
with uh with the employees kind of standing out and taking a stance towards the Adidas, I guess, heads, like the people that
Straight
make the
up.
decisions. Yeah, um, they they decide to change. They up it to 100 mil,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so that of course that looks suspicious to people because they come out with this statement, they come out with this offer, and then right in that time, employers are saying, no, this place does not reflect what
What you're
they're
saying,
what
yeah.
they're saying and what they're doing.
Hmm.
And so I would want to start off. I want to start with that first. I want to start off with, how do you feel about the brands? Because again, it's not our job
Yeah.
to
So,
judge or anything
yeah.
like that because I
Yeah.
don't have 100 mil to give.
I
But
don't have I don't have 200 million Virgils.
yeah, so it's one of those things where I don't want us to be in here sitting like, oh, that they were good and but they were bad kind of thing.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when these statements came out, and then also when these donations were announced?
Um, off top numbers wise,
Hmm.
my first question was, aside from the 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 racial aspect, um, I was thinking like, who determines how much money you donate,
Yeah,
and how do you go from only being willing to give 20 million to all of a sudden 120 million? That's six times
yeah,
the amount. Um, so that was just one curious aspect that I had,
hmm,
because I mean that's a lot of money, and to say 20 and then give 120, uh, that's just that. I'm trying to see those numbers is what I'm saying. But in the actual aspect of the reason why they went up that much, um, it just goes back to what I said earlier. It's pretty grimy that companies would want to come out and be on the right side,
hmm,
knowing that they're not.
yeah.
You know,
Uh,
and that's just like, for a brand like a sneaker brand,
hmm,
it's all about consumerism and,
yeah,
and corporate America. Like, you just want to stay on the right side, so when all this is over, you retain those potential customers.
yeah. Um, I think so. My when I saw about the Adidas thing, it didn't surprise me,
Mhm.
um, because we've seen it happen multiple times and different uh different organization, like in different what's the word I'm looking for, different different circles, I guess. I don't know, there's a better word for it. I feel like I don't know why I'm blanking, but like in the
Mhm.
gaming industry we had the
Mhm.
same issue
Mhm.
with Blizzard or Bethesda, I believe, where
Dum,
there
dum,
were
dum,
issues when it
dum.
came to inequality when it came to gender. And
Mhm.
so women in the workplace didn't feel heard or appreciated, and they were also being harassed. um
There's an SVU episode just like that.
yeah. Oh shit. and so
Law and Order players.
and so there you start to see that there are a lot of companies that this is just a common thing, but there are a lot of employees that don't want to put themselves on the line
Mm-hmm.
to, and like they don't want to spearhead the movement because, of course, like I understand you don't want to lose your job. Um, these companies
And
have,
that's usually the case for the
yeah,
person who does spearhead.
yeah, they don't want to, and then these companies are ruthless when that happens. They will come after them, and we
Mm-hmm.
know this. Like I don't like people. I hope people are not naive to think that if a person comes out and says, "Hey, the company that I work for," even though that they say on the outside that they are for a movement or they support people or they support this and that, they're actually very racist and they're very, they're they don't truly believe they don't follow those values. These companies don't like that. They don't they don't want they don't want somebody trying to give an insight to what's going on in that office.
Oh, not at all.
And so this Adidas thing is one of those things where we're getting to look in that, and we're getting to look there, and they're scrambling because there are people that are putting their names on these
Yeah.
articles, putting their names in these stories and saying, no, like this is how it's going. And it's not fair. It's not they're basically lying to the consumer's face. They're lying to
Yeah.
the public. Um and so I think that's where I wanted to like kind of like get into of because there was an article that came out.
Damn. My
My
bad, dude. My
my
mom over here smacking people. Yeah, you
um
saw her reaction?
um and so there's people that come out to so there's an article that comes out that talks about the protests at Adidas.
Yeah.
And I don't it's a long article, so I'm not going to read the whole thing because
Mm.
it's not it's pretty much the they're just kind of giving an outline, but I do want to read certain parts of it.
Yeah.
So I'll start. This is Julia Bond is an assistant assistant designer. Sorry. Um, she was the one that wrote a letter to the senior execs saying,
This
what,
is happening.
yeah, this is going on. Um, but I'm gonna read a couple things from here. So give me 1 second. So the
Mm-hmm.
first one I want to read is since this past Friday, a coalition of 200 employees and growing have been protesting at a sportswear company U.S. headquarters in Portland, Oregon, over racial disparities inside the organization.
Yeah.
Um, Julia Bond says it's very peculiar that a very peculiar experience to be black and work at Adidas, says Julia Bonds, an assistant designer whose letter to Adidas senior leaders last week sparked the protest. In her letter, Bond outlined sys- systemic problems with Adidas corporate culture in regards to race. Since then, several other employees have also spoken out.
Mm-hmm.
You see images of yourself around the brand, and it's very outward facing black, but inward facing it's very white. Um, so and then she goes into Adidas has been marred by claims of discrimination since last year when a New York Times report spoke. A New York Times report, I thought so, reporter, sorry, report spoke to over 20 employees about racial inequalities inside the
Mm-hmm.
company, where less than 4.5% of employees identify as black. Uh,
How do you
uh,
fix that? What does the solution look like for you?
for me,
Yeah.
I think
Because
it's because
this is go ahead.
no, sorry, what?
Because what Adidas did after this, it's just like, I mean, I get it. They basically, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead,
No, you're good.
but what Adidas did after this and they're still doing, is I think this is up until yesterday, what I read.
Yeah,
They're basically cleaning house.
yeah,
Internally, they want to create a more black presence.
mhm,
And I put that in quotation marks because I say that as in, I don't know if that's the answer.
yeah,
I don't know if that fixes the the deeply rooted issue here.
mhm,
I don't know if you can just wake up tomorrow and say, okay, well, we're gonna get rid of this white guy, that white guy, this white guy, and two out of those three are gonna be black now. And
yeah.
now we have racial equality.
It does. It never works like that. Because I've and this is what I mean when it comes to pandering to like black people,
Mm-hmm.
is companies get this thing where things come out that are not good for them business wise, especially when your demographic is the one that you're that comes to find out that you're the ones going against, and
Mm-hmm.
they make a decision off the cuff saying, hey, well, we're going to get rid of this guy because you guys found tweets on him, or we're going to get rid of this guy because we tried you told us that there was a letter out that you guys had said that he was racist to you guys, or he was misogynistic or whatever, and now we're going to get rid of him and then go jump into putting somebody else in that position, whether it be a black person or a woman. And I'm talking from both sides, like when it comes to, racism in office, and
And
also and
qualities.
yeah. And so I never like it. It's never been something that I've been a fan of. I think it's
Yeah.
stupid. I
Mm-hmm.
think people I think, and we're gonna get into this, but I like when people regardless of changes being made just to make things look better,
Yeah.
are still fought.
Mm-hmm.
This Adidas did this as a reaction.
Yeah.
They didn't do this out the kindness of their heart. They didn't do this because they looked at their boardroom and was like, "There's not enough black people making decisions."
Yeah. We need
No,
some.
we need some color, and
Mm-hmm.
this is the same thing that happened when same thing that happened with Louis Vuitton, same thing that happened with Gucci, same thing happened with with
So, do you
uh
think Virgil was a? Do you think that was really?
he's a plant,
Yeah. So, you
a
think it was
plant,
just a plan? Yeah.
100%. I don't want anybody like, and I say this because, and again, I want to be able to speak very candidly about all this, because
Oh yeah.
I don't like any of it. All of it
Talk your talk,
is
bro.
stupid. Like, I find all of it disgusting. Like, it's one of those things where it's kind of backhanded, where you do all these things where you have, because even in this article it explains that there was somebody that had told employees, yo, there's somebody of that's in this office that has been racist to me, that has said a
Yeah.
racial slur to me.
Yeah.
And the article says that person, they did an investigation, nothing came of it, and that person got promoted.
Damn. Really?
But that's the story of everything. That's
Yeah.
always that story.
Yeah.
When the in the gaming industry last year or the year before, when I wish I could remember, if any of you guys remember what it was that are into games. I forgot what office it was. I think it was Blizzard, but it could have been like Bethesda or something like that. Um, there was a thing of like employees saying, "Yo, there are people making crude jokes to women in the office," and they're like, they'd be very vulgar with the women, and the things that they would say were very off were very nasty when they would
Yeah.
talk to fellow male employees, even though it would be disrespectful to the women employees that were there.
Okay.
And those people would the women would say something about it, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we'll look into it," and then that person would get promoted. And then when they started protesting, that person got fired, because that person came out like that person came out and had people coming for that office's neck and was like, "Yo, so you guys let dude say all these different things and didn't do
Mm-hmm.
anything?" And they're like, "Oh well," and so they scramble and then they fire him, and then people step down, and then they start trying to put women in that place to kind of make uh they kind of make things try to make things better in a sense. And I think that's
Trying to right the wrongs.
exactly. And so I think this is the same exact thing. Adidas saw that they were not going to win this because they see a lot of people going down
Mm-hmm.
for this and their
Mm-hmm.
stance, and then decided, well, we need to switch it up. And I don't see this ever changing, because when it comes to positions of power in
Mm-hmm.
brands,
Mm-hmm.
it's always going to be run by white America.
White
I
is right, bro.
Exactly. I believe, like, I don't believe, besides brands that are owned by by black people, I
Mm-hmm.
don't ever see companies looking at somebody like, I don't see anybody looking at Virgil off top and being like, yeah, he's somebody that we would want to
Yeah,
be.
we need him.
Yeah, no, they only do that when a Kanye West or a brand sees that they can make money off that person and say, okay, we need to get somebody in here. And what better way to do that than get a person of color to come in here and be that, look, we got our black guy, or look, we have our Asian guy, or look, we have our Hispanic guy, like just to kind of make people feel like, oh well, okay. I'm like, you know me, I'm not like a big fan of Off White, so it doesn't. And so then, and also, I'm not into Louis Vuitton either, so it doesn't really.
Hey, whoa, whoa. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I
um,
wish, man, see, I wish I could like things
mhm.
without having to feel slightly guilty for not necessarily agreeing with everything that they do.
Well, and so like I think for me, I understand, because a lot of people have that feeling of like, well, there's nothing to, like, if we canceled everything, then what is left? And I
Yeah,
get that, but it's not a sense of canceling everything. It's a sense of building a build it in the right way. If
oh, of
you
course.
if I come into your office and I'm qualified to be on the board of execs or
Uh huh.
whatever, if
Yeah.
I'm qualified to be on the board of execs to design something,
Put me on there, bro.
yeah, hire me. Don't
Yeah.
don't and then, but also don't, if you're not gonna hire me, don't put me like, oh, we're gonna put you as a assistant to the assistant of the designer and hide me in this corner.
Don't
And
give me
then,
anything less, bro.
yeah, and then when shit like this happens, oh, hey Chris, you want to be a head designer? Like, no, like, you guys are just using me to trot me out to be the guy, like, hey, look, we have our black guy in in a position of power now, like, love us again. And so I think companies need to understand that if you're going to, don't find out what you did to a to don't find out that a design or a statement or a release was insensitive to a race or a gender.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that and find out because you didn't have a black person on the board that could say, hey, no, this is going to come off wrong,
Yeah.
or this is going to look insane if you release this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about the Colin Kaepernick thing with the Nike, what was it, the what shoe was that was going to release last year for, was it 4th of July?
Oh,
um
yeah, I remember.
what shoe was it though?
I don't remember.
It was an Air Max, right?
I
Oh yeah, it was an Air
remember, but I
Max.
don't remember.
It was an
No,
Air
yeah,
Max. Yeah, it was Air Max. And he was like, yeah, hey, because
you can't do that.
Colin Kaepernick he does have say in when it comes to certain releases. Like, he's still part of Nike brand. He is still,
Mm.
they still use him when it comes to a
Endorse
lot of,
him. Yeah.
yeah. And so he saw the one of the shoes that was dropping and was like, no, 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 that that person that you guys are going to, attach to that shoe had a history of racism, or I forgot what it was, and they pulled it. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, the city community was like, furious because, oh, like, and this is because this is in the height of like Colin Kaepernick kind of losing the media, like, shine of like people being like, oh, Colin Kaepernick is for the people, so people are trying to find things to attack
Bill
him with.
Belichick, sign Kaepernick, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sign Cam
We,
Newton.
I really want Cam,
Cam Newton still doesn't have a job.
but I take either or.
Yeah,
I would take either
either
or.
or. Yeah, but you see like when you have that ability to have somebody that looks like the people that you're selling to,
Mm-hmm.
people say, hey, no, that's wrong, don't do that. But companies don't do that, and they do that in every company. I don't care what company you think of. Nike does it, Jordan Brand does it, Adidas does it, Reebok probably does it. All these different companies have that. They have a board of people that make these decisions and do these designs that don't look like me, but are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to market towards, like, I'm supposed to be the one that buys them. And Adidas is shining that light on this culture. I feel like every year it's something. Last year was the gaming industry. This year, it's the sneaker world. We are seeing with this Adidas protest that they don't follow the structure. They don't follow the morals that they put out to the people,
Mm-hmm.
and people are starting to come out and say, no, I'm inside the building.
Yeah.
I know what it looks like when I walked into that meeting and I see I'm the only one that's black in there, or
Yeah.
I know I can see the meetings from my desk and there's not a single black person in there, but they're deciding on what they're going to market to black people. It's stupid. I hate all of it, and um, I hope Adidas sees a significant drop for it, because I think that's the only way. That's the only time brands learn is when their pockets are hit.
And speaking of pockets, like the minority demographic, they make up a lot of these income percentages for these companies.
Hmm.
Like some areas of spending, like it's up to like 30-40%.
Hmm.
And I mean, I know it's tough, and I know it'd be extremely tough to get everyone on the same page to implement that cancel season.
Hmm.
But like you said, I really do think um messing with a brand's finances will get them to, catch your attention the most.
Yeah, I
And it's all
go
about
ahead.
those numbers. I mean, and it comes back down to numbers. Like
Hmm.
numbers don't lie, and once they realize that they're affected by it in terms of sales and
Hmm.
revenue, then they have to try and make something different.
Yeah, and I like I I see like a lot of companies like, and I don't know if this is just the way Adidas works, because you see it with Nike. Nike,
Mhm.
LeBron is somebody that has a very big voice in that room. I don't, but again, I don't know how much LeBron's input matters to them. I know that LeBron is, one of the greatest players to walk this earth. So, and he's with a brand that, is one of the biggest brands on this earth. So,
Mhm.
I hope that they listen to him, and I hope that he's in talks with them when it comes to stuff like this. It
Mhm.
seems like it,
Mhm.
but I hope it's not a reaction. I hope it's not something that they're doing to try to save face and hiding behind. Oh well, if we get LeBron to say something, or if we get a big a Serena Williams to say something, we're
Yeah.
gonna get we we can survive this in a
I would
sense.
like to think that Nike's slightly smarter, and
Back up a little bit.
I'd like to think that Nike's slightly smarter,
Hmm.
and I also think, I mean, I don't think they made or positioned themselves to be in the wrong.
Yeah.
I think if they were, we would have known by now
Hmm.
or have heard something bigger.
Hmm.
But I mean, Nike's pretty aware
Yeah.
of where they were and how they got to where they are.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I would like to hope to think that that's one of the good brands that we
Hmm.
have left in terms of really understanding and just taking in the reality of the situation.
Yeah. Do you
Um,
think that this is? Do you think because Nike has LeBron James, Serena Williams, Kobe Bryant, RIP,
mhm.
like these players that are out of this world when it comes, like even like Jordan at one time, like out of this world of just being bigger than life, but also being black, having them be part of their being part
The
of the brand,
roster,
the roster, being able to come into these meetings. Like if LeBron James walks on the Nike campus, he can walk up to the exec meeting and
no, yeah, of
sit down
course.
and talk with them.
Mhm.
Do you think that that is also, because I believe so, but do you think that I don't I'm trying to think off the top of my head like somebody really big in Adidas that's like out of this world. But do you think because Adidas never had somebody that was that big,
That
or
the
even if they just didn't want it, like maybe they weren't, they didn't want that
mhm.
um ability, but like do you think it's because they don't have a LeBron James
um
on their brand to be able to be able to say, hey, you guys need to change the culture?
I would think I'd like to say no because they should be well aware,
Hmm.
and it's not like they don't have no one.
Mhm.
You know, they have their own roster, and I think with Adidas is that their roster is a little bit more hip.
Mhm.
You know, they dwell into other areas,
Mhm.
and they have like this roster of multiracial,
Mhm.
and it comes off like they should know. You know, they do have Pharrell Williams, they do still have
Mhm.
Kanye. Um, they have Derrick Rose, they have Damian Lillard, they have Donovan Mitchell. So like it's not like I get they don't have that tier one, that tier
Mhm.
zero athlete, but they still have enough to know.
But because you name off like I would even just hold on to these two. You have a Kanye West and a Derrick Rose,
Mm-hmm.
both from Chicago, both from the South Side, both both from a city that is constantly looked at as the it is the picture of
It's a dangerous city
inner
in
city
the
more
U.S. Yeah,
Chirac,
yeah.
like that is you see
That
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 all the
stuff
time.
is real, by the way.
Yeah, it's a
It's
it's
real out there.
and hearing them talk about it, like hearing Derrick Rose talk, because Derrick Rose is very vocal about where he grew up and like
Mhm.
his upbringing, and you hear people when they talk about Derrick Rose, like they remember like Derrick Rose was out there.
Yeah, he was
He
in the
just was
gutter.
he like people know that high school. They know that like if you've heard if you watch the Benny 30 for 30 on ESPN,
Mhm.
and they talk about Benny and like him supposed to be the next great thing coming out of Chicago, and he he dies before that happens. And then you see all the players that came after him in that same city at that same high school where it's rowdy. It's a
It builds you, bro. It
it,
builds
it, yeah,
character.
yeah, and you like these people that are in these streets know you because they go to the games with whatever they have on them illegally. They'll have, but they still go to these games and watch you. And like Derrick Rose, like people know Derrick Rose, people know him in this world. Same with Kanye West,
Yeah,
but also with that, I don't think Derrick Rose was ever. I don't think they ever put Derrick Rose in a position to feel like he could say, "Hey,
he had a voice.
this is what we need to do for the community."
Mm-hmm.
Same with Kanye West. Again, and I don't like people kill Kanye West all the time, and I kill Kanye West, of course, too. But a lot of stuff is done behind the scenes. Like I want people to first understand this as well. People don't have to post everything that they do. That is the one thing I want people to understand. If J. Cole never posted, never, if nobody ever showed a video of J. Cole doing a protest, that does not mean it didn't happen. It just means that you didn't know. And how am I supposed to know? Because I don't live in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't live out there. So I would never know because I'm not going to be at that protest.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you don't see somebody make a formal statement online does not
Yeah.
mean that they're not doing something to create change in their community or anything. I've seen too many people come at Kanye West for not making a statement.
Yeah.
And I get it because people feel like Kanye West is outspoken,
Yeah.
but Kanye West has never been, well, before, but as of recently, Kanye West
Yeah.
has never been the type to be like, I'm going to say this about this and this injustice or anything like that. Before, yeah, but he has gone to the point where he doesn't do that. So I don't expect it, but he also has done stuff in that same instance. Like
Mm-hmm.
just because he didn't say nothing, there was still stuff that came out later, like, oh, Kanye did this for this community. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. I don't like where people try to attack him to be like, oh, he needs to make a statement. No, he doesn't have to make a statement. As long as
Uh-huh.
he's doing something in his ability to
I
do.
think I think you can definitely understand where they come from though. You
I
know,
no,
like
I
you
get it.
mentioned, Kanye's been very vocal on many
Yeah.
many issues, and he's definitely been more of a political person the last couple of years.
Mhm.
Um, but I just have a lot of like this subject is a really good subject. Um, but I'll continue when you're done. I don't want to
No,
cut you
yeah.
off.
No, yeah. But it was just one of those things where it's like I feel like Kanye is his own voice, of course, and I'm sure that Adidas values what he has to say. But
My
I
bad.
don't see I don't see Kanye West being the LeBron James for Adidas.
No, no,
Like,
definitely not.
so like my only argument with that is, will they like, does this need to, like, does that need to, like, is that the reason why this happens? Because it may happen at Nike. Like, it may happen at Nike. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in those offices. It may be very suppressed to the point where it never comes out. But we haven't had an issue where, like, something like this with Adidas. Like, this came out because in a response to them making a statement. Like, hold on. You guys say that you guys are for the you guys support Black community, but I work here and I've seen firsthand that you guys don't give a shit at all.
Yeah.
And I see in, whereas you see LeBron James is like, you see it, like we see him actively working with Nike to do things to help his community,
Mm-hmm.
help Akron, help uh basically any city that he was like, any city that he played in, and even cities they never played in,
Yeah.
helping build the communities around him and giving, you know, kids opportunities to be able to um succeed
Yeah.
in unfortunate situations. Even with Reebok, yes, they've had this, you know, thing with the CEO of CrossFit, all that stuff, but it was well documented that Allen Iverson was trying to help, you know, help the community in Virginia
Yeah.
when he was like at his height in the NBA. And still to this day, they've stuck with Iverson because that is their poster boy for
Yeah.
that brand.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been documented that he helps the community. He still works with Reebok to do things for the community.
Yeah.
So Al Iverson is one of those players. They gave that opportunity to give Iverson that opportunity to
I
make his
think
voice heard.
Iverson definitely took that opportunity though. I don't think they
Yeah.
gave it to him, but it was given that no matter where he went, he had that voice.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm saying, but I'm saying, like, to be Allen Iverson and to be where he came from and like his influence on the game. Yeah, he took that opportunity, but I also felt like they could have easily just said, "Here are your shoes, play your game. We don't want to get too caught up in the things that you do because we don't want to." Because you look at, because they, in the Michael Vick documentary, they talk about it, and I don't know why I always plug 30 for 30, but they have, like,
There's a lot of good ones,
there's
bro.
a great, all of them are great, and so
The
they
Bruce Lee one just came out.
oh, they did, oh, I gotta see
Yeah, it
that.
came out like over the weekend, I think,
Oh
or
shit, I gotta watch
early
that.
in the week. Yeah, yeah, I gotta watch that too.
But in the Michael Vick documentary, they talk about when he got to Atlanta, and
Mm-hmm.
it was, Allen Iverson was already in the league, and they were talking about hip hop culture and sports. And Iverson was that connection between basketball and hip hop culture. And
Mm-hmm.
then Michael Vick was now that connection between hip hop culture and football.
Mm-hmm.
And so they talk about Allen Iverson as like, there were times where, like, yo, are you sure you want to kick it with Allen Iverson? Because we know that, you know, his like, we know his circle, we know the things that he does. But then you also find out that even in that same instance, he was doing things for his community. And so I think that Reebok could have easily just said, we might sometimes, but they opened that door for Allen Iverson to have that voice. I don't think Adidas has that player because you're naming players, but none of them are at that
No,
point
they
where I think
don't.
that
They
they
definitely
want
don't.
to even, like, LeBron wants to help the
But
community.
but now that we know where they are, it makes sense that they don't have that player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's I, ultimately it just looks like they never wanted that player.
Yeah.
You know, if what is being said about them is true, and I'm not saying it's not true,
Mhm.
we don't know how far up that goes.
Yeah.
And if it goes all the way to the top, then that there's your reason. There's your reason why they don't have that player.
Mm-hmm.
Is because they don't want that player. It's simple.
And that's going to
Um,
hurt them in the long run.
no, it's hurting
Like,
them now.
yeah, like, because you asked the question, like, when they make these changes and like they fire these people and then put Black people in those positions. I
Yeah.
think that is literally the thing. Like, it doesn't help them in the long run at all.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you could put a person in a seat to replace a white person. I don't
Hmm.
care. Like, that, to me, that doesn't mean anything because I know that that's not your true intent. You wanted a white person in that chair. Like, I get it. But like you said, they they're not, if it goes up to the top, yeah, if they're not looking for somebody, that's gonna be a rough climb for them.
Oh, it is.
Like,
But
and I
that
don't get how they don't see that when they have their competitors are literally doing things
I
complete
think they were.
opposite
I
of that.
think they were just happy with number two. Really, what it is Adidas realized that they were never going to be bigger than Nike,
Mm,
and they were comfortable with riding the number two wave
mm,
and just more money in their pockets, more money in their pockets. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. Let's just keep going. We can't get better because we'll never bridge that gap. So
yeah,
whatever, whatever, whatever. And then now they're like, oh, well, we could have done differently and we could have positioned ourselves, but we didn't. And here we are.
that's
I think that's
ridiculous
what
to
it
me.
is.
That's ridiculous. That is that that i- that is a terrible. That's a terrible way to do business, especially when, like we said before, like their demographic is the black and brown community.
No, you're
Like
right.
yeah, they like yes, we know uh that they have a white demographic that buys the shoes, but their their marketing is towards urban culture. They use urban culture to push their products. Um, how many times are they gonna have to go? How many times is it gonna take for one consumers to stop supporting, but also the the people that make the decisions realize that. And I want to say this because I understand bit. I don't understand. I won't say I understand, but I understand a company's result like hesitation.
Yeah.
If I'm a company, regardless if I believe it or not, you should always make sure that you are making the demographic that you market to happy.
Yeah.
If
It's, and that's just smart business.
yeah,
That has
even if
nothing to do with personal.
I could be the most racist person in the world,
Hmm.
but if I'm running a company that a majority of black people buy my
Hmm.
product, you got to put on that mask. You got to. And I want to say this by saying like I'm glad that things are coming to light. I love that. I want that to always happen. But I do also understand that some of these companies that we do champion that are like they've never done wrong, like they're always on the right side of things. I know that some of them don't truly feel the way that their company is portraying them. But if I can't prove it, I don't know because I'm not in these meetings. I don't go to your house. I don't know who you talk to, all these
Yeah.
different things. So, but as Adidas, like I would understand, like how do you not put that mask on and say, look over across the yard and see Nike has LeBron, Serena, all these big posters of these people, but also those people walk into those offices and say, hey, we need to do this for this community. We need to do this for that. Like this looks crazy. If you put this out, this is not going to get a good response.
Yeah.
If if we need to do something for the
Well,
the
just to
protest.
show you, bro, that they've never had that. Adidas was the company that many people don't remember the shoe because it obviously got pulled and they didn't release it. But Adidas is the same brand that when they were working with Jeremy Scott,
Mm,
um, he had released an Adidas. Well, they didn't release it, but it went into production and they pulled it.
the one with the
But
chains.
exactly,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
like they what?
Yeah.
Like,
Turn input one down a little bit.
my bad.
There you go.
But like, what do you like? That those you can see that problem was always underlining.
Yeah.
They never had that presence, and just to reiterate, they didn't care.
Yeah.
They literally almost turned their market away from them by releasing that shoe, and no one ever thought, yo, you know what, that might not be a good idea.
I do remember that because they were trying hard to push that shoe out.
Yeah, dude,
They
it
really
really,
wanted to put that shoe out.
yeah, and there's a few on eBay. It's not
Mm,
that expensive, but they really were like, yeah, it's a cool shoe. Let's put it out.
I don't. It they're tone deaf. I think that's probably the most simplest way to put it. I think they're tone deaf, and I think that they whatever whatever uh chain of command goes on
Mhm.
at Adidas. I think that they just are in they're stuck in their ways. And I think this is the perfect time for this to kind of like shake things up. And I hope that there's a lot of change. Like I know that it's only going to be a reaction to what's going on, but even with that reaction, the people that they put in these places, I hope are people that have their own voice and are
Hmm.
willing to continue to fight and say, "Hey, no, like I know that you put me here to kind of be like the token black person, but I'm going to say what I feel and I'm going to say what is wrong and what is right." And I hope
Yeah,
that
of
they
course.
listen because I don't want I for the I really don't want this to become a thing where we have to talk about this every year with
Yeah.
Adidas, Nike, whatever brand. I don't want this to always become a thing. I want this to be they hopefully they learn from it. Hopefully they
Yeah.
build a system where they start to change and go from there.
Yeah.
Because you see Nike when it comes to like their Be True collection. They don't just get some random dude named Steve that isn't gay or in the LGBTQ community or doesn't identify it to be like, hey, design these for us. No, they get people that actually are in that community um, that are gay, that are trans, that are bi, like all these different things to say, hey, we need your input and we need to know how to do this right.
Even though it's almost the same thing every year,
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah, I
they
think they
switch
give
it up.
yeah.
They switch it up, and I mean, every year there's at least two or three things that I like that I want to buy for myself.
Yeah, I know. I think from what I've noticed, they bring in different people to do design work on them. But I
Hmm.
think that they just fall kind of like they give them a template already and just say,
Hmm.
"Hey, work from this that we'd be willing to do," and not like a build issue from the ground up kind of thing. Which I
Oh
wish
yeah,
they
of
would do.
course.
Like I think that would be really cool because they do it. They in a sense kind of almost do it with their Black History Month line, where
No, they definitely do.
and
There's a
so
Yeah.
I would want them to do that for the Be True line where it seemed like that's where they were going and then they kind of just started to regress slowly every year. So I hope that next year or even well no have
It has
they have
they
announced it,
drop
right?
it drops this month. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's already on sneakers.
They I would hope that they
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 have a
start
pair of Air
to
Forces that I really really want.
oh yeah.
I mean, I don't really rock Air Forces.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's a bulky shoe to me.
Yeah. But
I sold all of mine.
I hope that they start to, kind of do that where they do with the Black History Month line, all that stuff. But yeah, um, so
Watch.
final thoughts on Adidas
It's
because
hard to tell. Um,
oh there it goes, yeah,
it's a dope shoe. I like it.
yeah, very simple,
Hmm.
yeah, um,
And it's a all clear outsole, so it looks white, but it's the whole
yeah,
outsole is
yeah, you
clear.
can kind of tell, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so any
Damn,
final thoughts on any
I
of this
might
stuff
just
that's going on
cop
with the
these,
brands?
dude. Um, someone needs to get it right.
Yeah,
Someone needs to get it right, and I think it just um instead of looking at the big companies and the big brands as partial losses or an
hmm
L, I think we there's a bigger W here,
hmm
and things are not things are finally not that they will be the answers to the problems,
hmm
but going back to what I've said about everything else, I think it's a step in the right direction and places these companies in the hot spot
yeah,
basically. And if they do right, then it's up to us to ensure that they continue to do right.
hmm
And if they put on a facade to get on the right side just for right now, then it's also up to us to hold them accountable. Uh, I mean, not up to us to hold them accountable because
hmm
ultimately it's on them,
hmm
but it's still up to us to follow through within the next year and make sure that what they implemented continues.
yeah. So I definitely want to shout out all the employees at Adidas that protested outside the
Yeah,
office.
yeah,
I see some of the pictures from like some of the signs that they're putting, and I think it's beautiful. Like
yeah.
I love seeing people come together for the right reasons. Um, and I hope that they're all safe. I hope that nobody loses their job. for
Mhm.
doing this protest. I hope that Adidas sees what they've done wrong.
Mhm.
And I know that Adidas is not going to reward them for it, but I hope that Adidas shines a light on the the bravery that it takes for them to do that, knowing
Yeah.
that Adidas could have easily said, "Well, we don't care," and just fired all of them and
Yeah.
replaced them because there's
Mhm.
millions of people that will want to work at Adidas.
Yeah.
Um, so I hope that all the protesters at Adidas uh, keep their jobs, but also force change in that office and at those headquarters.
Mhm.
Um, so I want to transition from protest to looting.
Okay.
Um, the only reason why I wanted to bring this up is because and so the only reason I want to talk about this topic, and I have my own feelings with
Yeah.
looting and all that stuff, but I wanted to bring this up because we are a secret podcast, and a lot of stores got hit
Yeah.
uh, as a result of looting. Um, one of the people I was following, if you guys don't know, when the first round of riots or protests that happened in LA, um, they quickly turned into riots that turned into looting. Um, we've seen I we've seen the clips of, like, undercovers and cops breaking stuff to kind of allude that the people are doing it.
Mhm.
Um, but we also do know that there were actual people that were taking advantage of
The
a
situation.
situation
Mhm.
and in a sense taking these stores
Hold
inventory.
on, bro. I'm sorry. Hold on. All right, I'm back. My
You're
bad.
good. Um, and so there was a lot of people that were taking advantage of this. And so the protests started to move through different cities in LA. And one of the stores that I first had saw, because I didn't know if they were going to actually hit these stores, was Riff. That was the first one I actually saw that
Yeah, me
they had
too.
got. I saw Riff had posted on their story that they cleared their inventory out their store, um, or I guess moved it out of the front. But then I heard that they had still got looted.
No, they still got hit.
And so and then they start to move towards Melrose and Fairfax, which has infamous Flight Club, the Hundreds, Diamond,
Mhm.
all these different these different companies that are long standing
Mhm.
on these streets. And I didn't know, because I was taking breaks from social media around this time, so I was kind
Yeah.
of like, I'm tired of, I was getting numb to seeing people being hurt and seeing dead bodies and seeing people being hurt by cops, all that stuff. So I kind of took a step back. But when I came back, Bobby Hundreds, who is very outspoken when it comes to things, in inequality in the world, and whether it be the protest in China, whether it be whether it be Black Lives Matter. I've always loved him because he always is very outspoken, and he doesn't really give a shit what people think. He's
Mhm.
going to speak his mind.
Mhm.
And so the thing that caught me on, because that's when I realized that they were getting to that area, was somebody had said, I got the tweet here. Somebody said, Bobby Hundreds, hope your store is okay. Watching the news now, and the looting is happening close to your Melrose store. And so then he replied, it'll be fine. It's just a store. Black lives are precious. However, protect Black lives.
Mhm.
So this was kind of like his thing, like because there was a lot of people that were saying, like, "Yo, is your store gonna be okay? Like, is it?" And he was just like, "It's things.
Yeah.
I can reprint shirts. I can remake these things, but people's lives can't be brought back." And
Yeah.
so I I truly appreciate that. I will want to start this by saying I don't wish for anybody to get hurt
Mhm.
or anything like that,
Mhm.
but I do understand it.
Yeah.
Um, I understand the protests. I understand, hitting people where it hurts, which is their pockets.
Yeah.
You hit the system where it hurts, making money, you will get people's attention.
Mhm.
Um, and so then the videos of Flight Club
Yeah.
getting looted,
Mhm.
and that was a video that I'm not gonna lie, I laughed at a little bit, because if you see the video, it's just it's like it's like a it's like them opening the gates for like a for a festival or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And so it's just people, they smash the window, get through the gate, and it's just a train of people in and out with boxes.
Yeah.
And I remember my friend had one of my friends had told me like, oh, so what do you think? And I think I've said on this podcast, I'm not a fan of Flight Club. I don't care for the store. I've never felt comfortable at that store. So me, opinion wise, I don't, it doesn't really matter about Flight Club to me.
Okay.
But I thought it was, my only thing about this was, there are people that bought shoes or have shoes that, because in a sense, Flight Club doesn't own those shoes. Those are still owned by people that are
Yeah.
consigning those shoes.
Consignment.
Those are consignment stores.
Hmm.
Same as Riff. These are consignment stores. So these people, these stores, in a sense, don't own these shoes. My only thing with this was, what happens to these people that put these shoes on consignment, and now you have to go to Riff or you have to go to Flight Club and say, what's the option?
Yeah.
What, because a lot of people are alluding to the contract that you sign with Flight Club when you do consignments and it's
Hmm.
like that, and it doesn't benefit the
Yeah. They
seller.
don't back you.
They like, it does nothing. You you are asked out in the situation pretty
Yeah.
much.
Hmm.
And there were videos of, kids, and most of them were, well, they were kids. Like, I didn't see many adults, but um there were a lot of kids that are posting videos with, like, them in their garage with their friends and a ton of boxes from whatever store that they had, uh whatever consignment store they had hit, and we're having like, oh, I got the Union Ones and I got the Travis Scotts and all this stuff. And it just, I want to start off by just saying, what were your thoughts seeing that? Yeah.
Um, Seeing the looting of
Just
the.
seeing the lose of like the shoe store, because I want to keep it. I really kind of want to keep it on shoes, since what were your thoughts? Because there's a lot of different variables to this when it comes to like people reselling them on now reselling them on StockX and
Mhm.
OfferUp. Like, what were your thoughts when you saw this?
Um, Honestly, like, um, it kind of serves no purpose. You
Okay.
know, if you, in my opinion, if you're rioting was one thing and looting is another, but then looting with intent, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like intentionally just going to these shoe stores and breaking in and taking all the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
How's that relevant? You know,
Mm-hmm.
how what, obviously you're just trying to gain something that is expensive.
Yeah.
um but it's just like, and Bobby Hundreds went into this um I guess issue.
Yeah.
uh you know, consignment stores add to the negative aspect of the culture, in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that they continue to drive values of shoes that necessarily don't or didn't have it
Mm-hmm.
or don't need it or whatever the case. So like, you create this desire for something that's unattainable,
Mm-hmm.
and that desire just stays.
Mm-hmm.
And more kids want it, and less fortunate people want it. So I see why, but I don't, I'm not okay with it.
Okay.
If anything, if you remove if you remove everything away from this equation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you remove the fact that this began through the BLM movement,
Mm-hmm.
and if you remove the fact that police brutality and protests against that, and if you remove all the current issues, and you simply look at it as young kids, adults, whatever age groups looting shoe stores,
Mm-hmm.
the only people looting those shoe stores are people that are into shoes.
Yeah.
So it realistically only speaks bad about one group of people, and that's the same group that we're in.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like, is that you can't point the finger at anyone else here. It's not like this little boy or this little girl, or whatever the case, this mom or this dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are looting stores because they need necessities,
Mm-hmm.
but the youngsters are going through these stores because they're trying to make a quick buck, or they're
Yeah.
trying to own something they can't afford. And no one in that group is from another group, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You might have random people, like random pedestrians that were elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dang, they broke into the shoe store, I'm gonna go in there too.
Yeah.
Fuck it. There's a lot of that. But the people that target these stores are one group of people, and it's the sneakerheads.
Yeah.
And that's why it speaks so negative about us. That's what I don't like.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Um, in a sense, like I like kind of like what you were saying in the beginning is like these, to put a word on it, these are opportunists.
Yeah.
They took up they took the opportunity to say, okay, well now we have a situation where a Target shit got burned to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you see people who are that are doing it for a reason, and then people that are just doing it to say, hey, well, I'll never pay $5,000 for the Union One, so I'll just break into Flight Club and get them for free because
Mm-hmm.
hey, everybody's looting. And it's like that's not the reason though. Like
Yeah.
you're like you said, they're doing this for personal gain. They're not doing this for a
Oh yeah.
they're not doing this for the reason that it's truly meant for.
Yeah.
And I'm a big advocate. Like, yo, I said this to you, and I said this on Twitter. And you guys, I don't care how you guys feel about this, but I always felt like the one way people are going to understand that Black people mean something, and Black people are going to, and Black and brown people, but I want to specifically speak to Black people. We control the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Companies would fall to the ground if they didn't have the Black dollar. Simple and
Mm-hmm.
plain. And I believe that with everything in my being. If you disagree, I'm sorry, but that's how I feel, and I'm. It's not going to change. If every Black person said we're not buying Nike anymore, Nike would crumble. Simple. Like there would be absolutely no way for them to recover. If every Black person in unison, and of course this has to be a perfect world, but if every Black person said, starting tomorrow, nobody ever make another purchase at Nike, within 6 months, Nike would lose everything because we are the ones keeping a lot of businesses above. Like we're the reason why a lot of these businesses have so much money to be able to to do these different things. And the idea is I saw the looting and I was okay with it. I don't have any I don't care about I don't care that people are looting. I don't care that people are burning things to the ground. No,
Yeah.
have your voice heard. The people that are Black people, brown people have not been heard and have been treated unfairly in this country and in this world. And us saying, hey, we don't want to be killed for doing nothing or for just being the color of our skin. We
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be discriminated against and be put in cages because of the fact that we don't speak English. We don't want, we don't like, if you guys can't hear that, the only thing that you're going to hear is when we start burning the country down. Because then you're going to hear us because now you got to be like, yo, why are you doing this? Because it was the same thing with Colin Kaepernick. And it was a perfect tweet that I loved that said, it had a picture of Colin Kaepernick kneeling on the sideline for the national anthem, and it said, I bet you wish we were still peacefully protesting," because everybody made a big deal about him kneeling on the sideline and saying there's another way to do it. There's other ways to do it.
Dude, that was so long ago, but not long ago. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
It feels so long ago too. Like it feels so long. And it was only like 4 years ago. Like it didn't start till like 4 years ago. And it's like he said exactly what he was doing, what he meant by it, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, there has to be a different way to do this. It's not a different way. Whatever the way was there to do it, start burning things down. And now it's, why can't you guys peacefully? Yeah, exactly. Because you guys didn't want to hear us when we weren't jumping up and down. And
he
screaming.
literally took an opportunity on a national level,
Mhm.
and that wasn't enough.
And it wasn't like he during the national anthem was speaking over the singer and was like, "Yo, here's why I'm kneeling." No, he waited till he was in the locker room. When they asked him, "Why do you kneel?" It was, I think it's like a 3-minute video of him explaining exactly why, and people still act like they didn't understand it. Now that people are burning things to the ground, now you get it. Now you understand, because before you guys didn't want to hear us because you guys thought that we were not going to, like, we didn't make enough noise. But now that we're making enough noise, now you want to hear us, but you guys want us to revert back to being uh being calm about it. And it's like, that's not how this works. And so, but I'm sorry, I don't want you to get off on that. But it's the same thing with the looting. Just like you said, the people in the sneaker community take a hit, because even though I'm for, hey, fuck the system, do everything that you can to get your voice heard. I'm not going to a Flight Club. I'm not going to a Riff. Places that I've been to, like Riff is somewhere that I go to a lot, and Riff is somewhere that I respect the people that work there. I respect all the people that I've met there. I would never do that just for my own personal gain to loot Riff. I don't gain anything from that, and also because I look at it as, I'm not taking from them. I'm taking from the people in my community. Like, I'm literally taking from the people that I probably mingle with at these sneaker conventions and at these different events. And that's what you're taking from. You're not taking from the company. The company doesn't lose anything in a sense. They lose the ability to gain profit off of these shoes that they're selling.
Yeah.
But you're not taking $1,500 per shoe all out of their hand. No,
From the company, yeah.
You're taking a percentage of that, but you're not taking that. They don't get, if a shoe is selling for $5,000 at Rift, that doesn't mean that they get $5,000.
No, yeah, I think it's like what, 15%?
15%, yeah. And so, like you said, it makes us look bad because you have these kids, and again, there might have been
you're essentially stealing from each other.
Yeah, you're taking from the people that you rub elbows with in the community. Like, that is the most ass backwards thing that you can do. Like, that is really ass backwards to me. You have these people, and there was a couple people that were that were saying like StockX should start venting sales, because they, of course they had they if you went on StockX, you were just seeing shoes like going up like crazy, but then you saw prices going down on those shoes because people were just trying to get them out their hands, and just like, oh, I got these like 120, and it's like that shoe is worth 320 or 350, and it's like, they just want to get out their hands because they don't want it to come back to them. But it's still the same thing of like, these people, you're trying to get a gain from this, because you don't lose the money from the shoe because you never bought it in the first place. You got it for free by stealing. And so that 120 is going straight to you, but whoever was selling that shoe at first, they lost all their money. They don't get nothing from that, regardless. And there's not like a way that they could be like, well, that's my shoe because it has my ID on it, or what. No, it's a shoe that is mass produced that we don't know. We don't know. There's probably somebody down the street from me right now that probably lost a shoe from Riff through the looting. And I feel like it's just an ass backwards way to get your voice heard. And I don't even want to connect the two, because it was intentional. It was literally, they're going for a purpose. They're not going to try to make a statement. No, I'm going because I want the union ones.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna spend the money for them on my own end. So if I can get them for free, and I see everybody running in, let me see if I can grab something real quick.
Exactly.
And I think it's ridiculous. I I don't know what that means for, because I don't think I've heard anything yet. I don't know if have you, but like
Well,
what
Flight Club is the
how
only one that really said anything, and they didn't say anything. But all they, I mean, no one said anything. But Flight Club is the only one that people are referring to in terms of you're asked out
yeah.
because it's part of their fine print or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that was only that was a lot of cuz a lot of people cuz I don't know personally how Riff operates, but I'm pretty sure it's probably almost kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh but I think it's also because of reputation as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't like in a time of them like, losing everything, I don't want to like kick them while they're down, but I've always been outspoken on how I feel about Fight Club. I'm not a fan. But this is kind of a testament to how people feel with them is they're going to shine a light on if they inventory gets robbed. It's a big middle finger to their consumers, like, hey, sorry, don't know what to tell you, we got to start over again, kind of thing. And it's like we can't do it, like it's not like we can give you store credit or anything like that. It's just nope, you lost out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's even a way to fix that in the sense, because like companies will try to like they'll try to reword something to kind of help their customers, but
Yeah.
how do you even do that in this situation? Because you're
Um.
talking about everything gone, so it's
Yeah.
not
I
like you can
really.
just be like, oh, here's for certain people. Like, no, every customer that you had has to.
There has to be some sort of compensation, but
Yeah,
I don't think there is one,
yeah,
an ability to do so. And ultimately, like the only thing that they could really offer is and what they should offer is a percentage of their insurance claim,
to everybody.
like a payout.
Yeah,
um I mean, I get that it's not, it'd be very difficult,
yeah,
but honestly, that, I mean, if Flight Club and these companies are going to get money from their insurance, why can't they just give it out?
yeah. Because I see like that, and that probably makes the most sense, just because of the fact that the your consumer is your way of having inventory. So
Yeah.
either way, you've paid for the storefront, you have all this stuff covered, but you need to be able to make up for the fact that you lost customers because of this. And yeah, I don't like it's unfortunate. Like I really believe it's unfortunate because we're talking about people that we mingle with and that
Yeah.
we see. So it sucks that that happens. Um, And so the only reason I wanted to bring it up was just because I just wanted to get your thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't. This is not like an indictment on Flight Club. It's not. This isn't me saying, yeah, they got them. No, because like you said, these are our people. These are
Mhm.
our. This is our community, and so I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because that is unfortunate. It's a really unfortunate situation.
Really
Um,
is.
I know I talk about social supremacy a lot. I know social supremacy. They had moved their inventory, I believe, from the store
Mhm.
because they are in Northern California, and that is a place that is a very volatile place because they've had to deal with a lot of police brutality, and so people protesting,
Well, like Rift SF got hit and they're done. They're not coming back.
they decide not to.
They already came out and said Rift SF is not coming back. Their priority is rebuilding Rift LA,
Yeah,
and they don't have the means and the attention to
yeah.
give it
Because
to
how old
both
is that
sides.
store in SF? What, 2, 3 years?
I think it's like 5 years, bro.
Oh, 5. Oh shit,
It's
time is
it's
going.
it's. I mean, 5 years is only 2015. You know,
Yeah.
it's not that long ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just know it was like it's fairly new in a sense,
Yeah,
based
yeah,
off
it's
of like
fairly
where
new.
they. That's that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate.
Hmm.
Um, I
That store
don't.
was really small though. It was really
Yeah,
really small.
yeah. It sucks. And so that kind of just throws that. So then it goes back to the question because I asked you about this when it came to the pandemic and like what prices for
Hmm.
shoes and like what does the resale market look like once it's all over.
Hmm.
Now we have to have that conversation. What does the resale market look like now with stores having to basically, in a sense, start over? And how do
I
you
think
ensure, because if you're somebody that had your shoes at Riff or had your shoes at Flight Club, how do you get those people to come back and do that again, knowing that, because I know that you have to make some kind of correction to the contract now. Like I feel like they would have to be, that would force their hand, because you
I
just
think maybe not necessarily adding more precaution to the contract.
Mhm.
I think it's more building a safer environment within their store. So if you're rebuilding your store, you need to add some sort of a riot protection to your doors. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You should actually have slide down gates, or those, those metal ones that lock at the bottom.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
they're
I think
harder to
Riff
break.
had that though. I mean, Flight Club.
Did they really?
Yeah, a lot of, because a lot of stores
Oh,
have
then
those, but like, also you got to understand, when 20 people are trying to kick that gate in, because it's not like a steel door, so
yeah,
it's like it has give, like it's like
yeah,
a
it's flimsy.
it's a flimsy chain link fence that is actually just solid, basically.
Yeah,
If you have 20 people kicking that down, trying to kick that in, they're gonna get through after a certain point, because they're on barriers and stuff like that, so they're gonna get it
man.
down.
The
But yeah,
solution is just sell your own shoes, bro, and make more money on top of that.
yeah, true.
But it
So.
also at consignment, you have the leeway of selling higher.
Mhm.
So it really, I
Flight
don't
Club
really
census
know.
are really high.
Yeah, I don't really know like how you make it a win-win from a consumer standpoint and a business standpoint.
Yeah, I know endangered in Pasadena, they had cleared their store too before, and they had like boarded it up,
Yeah,
and so I don't think they got hit, which, you know, good to hear. But like, yeah, because you look at like a hundreds is different, because that's a
hmm
clothing store. That is something
hmm
that the insurance is just going to pay back for all the stuff, all the product that they had in there, so they can reprint all the stuff. You could reprint that, and it's not like it's my shirt that I'm selling in the hundred store. It's their shirt that they can reprint and all that stuff. But we're talking about shoe stores that don't own. Like it'd be different. Like
there's
this would be
honestly
a totally different
there just won't be a
conversation. They said
solution. It's
it just has to.
you're just gonna take the L. That's really what it is, bro. It's just an L, and it's unfortunate that we kind of gave it to ourselves.
Mhm.
Um, but there's no solution to it, at least now. It already happened, and you're just gonna have to take that L as a consumer and as a business.
Mhm.
The business is not as big,
Mhm.
but I don't. There's no way of sugarcoating what happened,
Yeah.
and especially if you were affected by it, it's just what it is.
Hmm. No. I
Yeah,
wanna
it's not like
say
there's gonna be a. It's not like you're gonna get the government bailout plan. Like they're not gonna help you, bro.
God. Yeah,
Like
that's an L for him. Yeah.
yeah,
I feel bad for the people and the community that lost in this
hmm
situation. Um,
ultimately, yeah, of course.
I really feel bad for you guys. I do definitely hope that there's some way that they get paid back in some sense.
hmm
If it's not the full amount, but at least something that they can, say is they got back for it.
hmm
Um, like you proposed, like I hope, if that's the case, like insurance wise, like I would hope that these stores would do the right thing,
hmm
um, and find some way to kind of give these people something, so
Yeah,
it's not just a, well,
yeah,
like don't know what to tell you kind of
yeah.
thing.
But you should also take it as that moment as well.
Yeah,
If you're affected, you should literally not waste your energy expecting.
yeah, true.
Is
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
you
Is
gotta you gotta if it's one of those things where my favorite saying is, it is what it is. Like it is what it is. Like it happened. There's nothing that, like, it's nothing like on our side we could do. Like it's not that, like, anything that can be done. It's just
mm-hmm.
you have to hold this L. Hopefully you get some kind of W out of this. But if it's just an L that you have to hold, just hold it. And man, hopefully you can find the
Oh,
shoe that you would like. Hopefully, like if like hopefully these because people were selling these shoes on OfferUp for.
oh, I know. I almost bought a lot of them. I literally had a day. I kid you not, bro. There was one day where
Mhm.
I had two pairs of Concords, one pair of Space Jam, and a pair of ones. I forgot which ones they were. And the Concords, the guy wanted $300,
Mhm.
which is $100 less than market.
Yep.
And Space Jams, the guy wanted $350, which I knew was going to be an okay buy because value was going to go up. They've
Yeah.
already started going up. They're both at around 400 now.
Mhm.
And then I was gonna buy a used one pair of Concords for 250. Like I'm telling you, bro, I had things lined up. But then like a little like the conscious aspect of me was
Yeah.
like, well, do I really want to support, even if they're not stolen? Do I really want to get into the thick of that? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a lot of people that spoke out on that.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, I don't even know how I feel about it
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people were like, "Oh, like," because I was saying like a lot of people were saying like StockX should do like a should start pulling like new sales on their site, and it was
It's
like,
tough to
but how
gauge,
do
bro.
like how do you
How do you
filter
know?
that? Like how do you
Yeah.
feel like you gotta these like, and I feel like I hate that StockX has to always be the scapegoat in the situation of like just like start coming at StockX as like the evil stepsister and
Well,
everything.
because they kind of are, bro.
They
Like they're
make themselves this,
just,
but in this situation, they have no way of doing the right thing in this
bro.
situation.
Goat donated money, but not to saying that donations are the answer,
Mm-hmm.
but Goat made a statement and they donated money. Within 2 or 3 days. Remember, I sent you that screenshot,
Yeah, yeah,
and I mean, have we had a response from StockX yet? All
not that I
right,
know of. No.
yeah. So I mean, they don't sell themselves as the right people.
Yeah, I I just say in this isolated situation,
Yeah,
don't come at StockX as like they're they're evil, and it's like what are they
yeah,
supposed to do? like,
exactly.
like
Yeah.
like what are they really supposed to do in this situation? Like they're not there's no win for
Are they
anyone.
gonna add the question of were these looted? Like
Yeah, send us the receipt. Like that's you're never gonna win in that. Like so, but yeah, they a lot of it they put on themselves. But I do also know that like in this situation, like in this isolated situation, StockX has to. It'd be better. Like you can't blame a StockX, you can't blame an eBay, you can't blame an OfferUp. You have
yeah.
to just say, "Yo, we don't know. We can't say no because we don't. We would start having to. It would become one of those things where we're going to just be doing random picks, and what if we're wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have to deal with them coming at us just because somebody that's not even selling anything on eBay is upset at us. Like we're not going
Mm-hmm.
to cause a fight that we can't win in any
Yeah.
situation. So yeah, it's it's rough. This is a rough time for a lot of people. Um, I think this is I really like. Only time will tell.
Of
Hopefully,
course.
hopefully by the next time we do a podcast, we'll have some answers. Like I really hope so. But until then, yeah, we're kind of stuck to just say, yeah. So with that, I wanted to get into some good news.
Mm-hmm.
And not like good news, but some news that's not like handicapped by everything that's going on. Drake, OVO collaboration,
With
Air
the
Force One.
AF1s,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a recycled colorway. We know this, bro.
Oh, you think so?
Bruh.
Think so?
Everything to this point has either been black and gold or white and gold.
What if he does?
And that the things that weren't those colorways were already established recycled samples, like the fours, both of them. I sound like a hater, but
You do.
I just want more from an OVO shoe.
Well, the way that he announced it and like the way like the way Drake like came on his social media talking about it,
Yeah.
it seems like they're probably going to try to do something big. I just don't know what that looks like
Mm-hmm.
with Air Force One. Like, how big can you get? Because like I saw that because when the headline for it was OVO set to release a collab with Nike Air Force One, and they had the picture of the white Air Force One with the OVO owl on the back, and at first I was like, wait, is that like wait what? Like what? This doesn't deserve this kind of headline. And so then it was like, oh, they're still working on it. Like that was just that's just a placeholder of like what people use to market. But it was
Yeah.
like but then Drake was on his story talking about it, and he like does little cryptic captions as he does.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made me think, what if he does something big? Like what if he like it's a because I don't think OVO Fest would happen this year, but like some sort of like exclusive themed
No.
OVO Fest with like
Nope.
an album in the box.
I mean, it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not. I don't buy any OVO hype. I don't. I can't buy in. And it really just comes from being let down so far in every release.
Drake just
Like,
lets you down every time.
I mean, it's not even a letdown. It's just I need some variety, bro.
Yeah.
His 10s, his 12s were both Stingray on black and Stingray white. His 8s were black and white. I mean, black and gold and white and gold.
Yep.
What else? What else do we have that's like up that alley?
Uh, bu- 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 oh, nah.
Point being is they're
Yeah,
all
pretty much the
relatively
same
up
shit.
that
Yeah.
alley, and yeah, bro, give us something. You're Drake, bro. You're like
You're
the
Drake.
biggest, like
Yeah.
like if I look at a Travis Scott,
Mhm.
you can see his aesthetic across the board.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do get that aesthetic of OVO across the board, but give us more, bro.
But like, I feel like the aesthetic has always been simple.
It is,
Like that.
but
That's what like their branding is a simple, like simple, but it makes a statement kind of thing. Like I feel like that's kind of
so
like
I think
what
if you
else?
have one simple ass brand and one simple ass shoe, you're gonna get a simple ass product. Like the Supreme Air Force Ones, bro.
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah,
You literally gave me. I could make that shoe, if I wanted
yeah.
to.
That's what people would make in our Nike ID.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna give me a white Air Force One with a gold owl on the back, I'm good.
What? Okay. Put your designer hat on. Give me
All right.
give me a quick mock up of an OVO that you would do. So Drake hits you up like, "Yo, Gabe,
All right. So
I need
if
you."
if I if I'm working on this OVO and the OVO team wants to retain that aesthetic of
Mhm.
the simple black and gold and white and gold, that's okay, but there's other ways of implementing it. There's other fabrics outside of Stingray or pleather. You can go into these more exotic looking.
Give me
Um,
velour.
yeah,
Ooh,
you can
give me
add some
velour Air Force
velour.
One.
You could use some premium, soft feeling leathers.
Mhm.
Damn, my neighbor just came out and he looked like Aladdin. That's why.
What? He looked like Aladdin.
Yeah, you know how Aladdin has like that vest and that's
Mhm.
it, no shirt under.
Oh, he came
Oh
out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was feeling himself. He's like,
Oh
yeah, this is
yeah,
gonna be it.
looking like hot as hell.
Wait,
But
the dude with the dreads?
yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
seems like it. Like he seems like he would rock that. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, there's other high end elements that you can add.
Yeah.
That could really switch up the vibe of just a plain all white shoe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm looking at my screen because
Looking at his ghosts.
nah, PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. It's time. PlayStation 5.
What
The
about it?
they're doing the little the future gaming conference thing for PlayStations for Sony.
So they're unveiling. Mm.
They had like they did a thing where you could set up on your let me read this. These comments are already going crazy. Hold on. The on your system you can set up a notification to watch it through Twitch on the stage. So it literally when it said like when they go live, it'll just open up automatically. So now I'm watching and I'm looking at the Twitch comments and people are spamming their Twitch names. So
Well,
this is gonna get this stream is definitely gonna get shut.
Microsoft.
Yo, chill out. Y'all know what y'all doing over there.
What do you mean, bro? Y'all don't know what you're
Y'all know what y'all
doing.
doing over there.
They're breaking into your networks every other
Oh, they
day.
got to the. Oh, they got to the. Oh, they just got to it. Yo, so usually what I expect when it comes to like these gaming things is they'll do they'll it'll
Like
take
an
like
Apple
20
keynote.
minutes. They'll take 20 minutes before they start. Yo, they copped in 5 seconds in. They in here.
Well, they was ready, bro.
Yo, I don't know what this is, but it's just a little intro for it. Okay. Yeah, so just letting y'all know. So this basically time codes when we're shooting this. This is Thursday. Shout out to PlayStation, all my PlayStation users out there. Add me on PSN, Kid Game Chris. Anyways, but yeah,
No.
no. No, but yeah, I hope like I personally hope like give me a nice. I want something nice. I'm gonna be. I'll understand if it's simple because I know that's what they've
Simple
done.
works.
So.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I had the OVO 12s. I had the black pair. No,
Yeah.
the OVO 10s. I had the black pair.
Mm-hmm.
I just never wore them because I was afraid of how they would crease.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought them at market when they were high, so I just got rid of them while they were still kind of high. I think I lost like $70 on them.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, simplicity works. But how will you know that simplicity is all you can do when you never try and do something different?
True. I hope he gets Chubbs in there and like yo. I want Drake to like have his team design it, not him.
They're gonna come after me, bro. They're gonna hit me up just for this project because of this podcast.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Drake, if you really want us to give you a full opinion, send them in.
Hey, yo, Aubrey.
We got you on the review.
in my KD voice.
You got the fact that he'd be like, I heard some dude on a podcast call me Aubrey. Yeah, go find him. But yeah, we'll do a review of the OVO.
Telling you, my KD voice when he's like,
we got you.
Wait, you wasn't talking that smack today, Aubrey. We don't see you in the bay.
Oh shit! Oh, are they doing they're doing like a review of the Grand Theft Auto 5. Yo, hey, don't play with us, Rockstar. Give me my Grand Theft Auto 6. Don't play me.
It's not coming until 2055, bro.
Don't play me. Don't show me an old trailer of they're doing like the PS4 launches. Okay, whatever. But yeah. So and then the last bit of I would say good news, the LeBron 17s what the or is he on 17 or 16?
It's on 17.
7 well the what the LeBrons, but they're called the official name is called the LeBron James Family Reunion.
I have not seen these.
Oh, you haven't seen the pictures?
But I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you like this.
Nike.
They ain't bad.
LeBron.
They're not bad.
Well, I'm fixing to buy my first 17s next week.
Oh yeah.
The graffiti NYCs.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're not bad. They might. I see a star.
I hope it's
more than an athlete.
Yeah, it's a no go for me, dog.
Nah.
I mean, it's not actually. It's not that bad,
right?
I definitely like the left shoe more than the right shoe.
Uh, I like the right shoe. I like the like got the Monstar green on the front.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool shoe.
Yeah,
Has a lace lock.
I like what I'm seeing. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. Um, no, yeah. This is there's no release date for it yet. Um, but I they announce, and I like yo. The one thing I would say I'm a fan of is the way LeBron is like hyping the shoe rumors. Like I fucks with it. I really like it. I like when somebody like is like, "Yo, LeBron is rumored to have this shoe coming out," and he retweets it.
Yeah, I like that.
He's like, "Yo, yeah, fire."
He's connected with his stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Like it's not just a corporate Nike release or
mm.
whatever like that.
He takes it
He's
seriously.
he's very prideful. I
Yeah,
mean, his his whole aspect about everything in his life has always been, kid from Akron.
yeah,
So to have, three different Nike shoes and your main line at 17, like, that's impressive, man.
but even seeing like when they announced the media day sevens, and he was like, "Oh, they was like, oh, these are rumored to come out," and
So hard, such a hard
he
shoe.
retweeted, and then like he retweeted, and so then it reminded me of the video of when he got the 17s, like when he did his unboxing for uh the 17s when they first were releasing, and they got that box that had the pull booklet of every single shoe, like all his shoes from one
All
all
the
the way up,
silhouettes,
and like
yeah.
just seeing the way he reacted to like all the different, like yo, like, and like you could see in his eyes like every shoe is a memory for him. Like every like he's looking at him, he's like, yo, like this is crazy. And it's like that like always for me, like always makes me happy. Like to see a player like really be connected with the stuff that they're releasing. And like you said, like he's not doing like it's not just a marketing, like, hey, we need to put a shoe out. He takes his time with like, yo, I really want to put something that I like out. And I think he's starting to like, if like it's not okay, I'm sorry, but
Hey,
Spider-Man
man.
2 has been announced.
Oh, dang, really?
Miles Morales out here. Yo, it's
Did you play
lit.
the first one?
Yeah.
I
Man.
haven't played it yet. The homie he went to Colombia and he let me borrow his PS4
Mhm.
and I just never played it.
You missing out, bro. That's a great game.
I
That's a
mean,
really good game.
it wasn't that I didn't want to play. I asked him to let me borrow it. First of all, I did want to play,
Mhm.
but I just wasn't gaming. I didn't have the time for it, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely say play it. They
Yeah,
said that this game.
can I have it play in the background? This
What?
PS5.
Oh yeah, it's on Twitch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Twitch.com.
Sorry guys, we're getting distracted. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been looking forward to this
What do I
this
look for?
conference for a while.
PlayStation?
Yeah, PlayStation 5. It's on their Twitch. I think it's
It's not on the
PlayStation.
homepage.
It's not. It should
No.
be. Just type in the future of gaming. It should be on there.
Damn, my Twitch has all that. The future.
We almost had a milli in the views.
The future of gaming last live 15 days ago. That's not it.
Oh, it was like, yeah, nah. It should be PlayStation. It should be their. It should be their.
Yeah, this ain't it, bro. I need something better than this.
They know that you fuck with Microsoft, so it's like, nah, we're good.
That's fine. Microsoft's still gonna be better.
Right? You see these graphics? These
Bro,
are beautiful.
Microsoft is literally
Second to
is literally a freaking computer.
Microsoft is the Adidas of gaming.
Get out of here.
Just saying. Let me put that out there.
What?
Let me put that out there. I'm just letting you know.
Bro, PlayStation online experience ain't got nothing on Microsoft, bro.
You sound ridiculous.
Microsoft is definitely the Apple of gaming, bro.
Apple.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I said it.
The app. Okay. Okay. You okay? The Apple of gaming. That's so Sony's Android.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I thought about
No
that, but I was
way.
like, yeah.
No way. There's absolutely no way. Um. Yeah.
And
So
yeah, it's probably backwards on my end. But either way, point being is Microsoft better. That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm not gonna lie, dude. There are aspects of the station that I do like, but it's the overall online experience that Microsoft does have on Sony.
nah. I'd rather not be called a racial slur every time I go for a layup in 2K. But actually, even though
But
I
is
did,
that? I mean,
I'm just
yeah,
that's everything.
that's a problem going on right now in the world, bro.
Yeah, no,
So
no,
yeah,
no. I was I was on 2K and I was playing in the rec with the homies, and uh, so we play in a party because we don't like usually talking over the mic with people randomly, and the dude was terrible. Like he was just terrible, and usually we figure out if it's a kid or not. Like we'll realize based off of how he plays if it's a kid or not.
yeah.
And I usually will always like double check. I'll go into the party chat, the game chat, and kind of hear who's talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he, he as soon as I like literally as soon as I leave the party to go to the thing, all I hear because he misses it and he's like you fucking black bastard, and I was like what, and I'm like and he like keeps saying stuff and I'm like hearing his voice. I'm like, yo, how old are you? And he's like 11, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is some wild. Are we wild out here?
Yeah,
And
this
so
is.
the funny thing was like after like he became cool. Like he like as the game went on, he was like I was talking to him because he was just like I was trying to understand like yo because I hear people in the background. I'm like, are you with your family? He's like yeah,
Are
I'm
you
with
guys all racist?
my little brother and my grandma. And I'm like, so your grandma just hears you call somebody a black bastard? She's just whatever with it. Like it was like all right, like and so I went back to the party like I'm good.
Institutionalized systemic racism, bro.
The funny thing is, I think he was black. Like the way he sounded, the way the grandma in the back sounded like it was a black family, which makes it even funnier because I'm like, I could have never did that in front of like my mom or grandma. They would have took my game and threw it in the trash and then would have beat me for the next month. So yeah, I don't know. Kids are just
Generation Z, is that what it's called?
I think. I don't know how the generations are broken off, so I don't want to like say yes and be
Yeah,
wrong.
there's right now Z. I think it's Z.
Oh, okay. What's the age range?
Um, I really don't know, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
why I
it's
never get it.
I think it's people born in like their early 2000s.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Well,
Let's look it
Generation
up,
Z.
bro. We got Google. Gen Z. Here it is. First question. Yeah. Generation Z is from 97 to 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. And
So
then
born
obviously,
between 97 and 2012.
yeah, obviously we're millennials. We're almost at the end of the millennials.
Yeah, they about to get us up out of here.
We got the baby boomers. Generation X is the one before us.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Z, I don't know what's after Z.
Have they even named it yet?
Gen after Gen Z. No. Hold up.
Like, can they name it beforehand, or do they?
What if Generation Z is cut off at 2012? That means we're currently in a new one.
But so it'd be what 97 to 12. That's
Okay. So
15
after
years.
Generation Z, 2013 and forward is called Generation Alpha.
Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know now. None of y'all alpha. None of you. None.
This is what comes after Generation Z. Introducing Generation Alpha.
Also, Liv is Generation Alpha.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Shout out to Liv. Who? Oh, she just had her birthday. She's 1 now. So
Synced it. COVID style.
Shout out, Liv.
Shout out all the birthdays. Today's my
Yeah.
younger sister's birthday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She out there bobbing.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, I hooked her up with some cool Air Maxes.
Mm-hmm.
They're called the Air Max 90 Daisy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's her name. So it has like flowers all over it and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
That's cute. Look at big brother Gabe.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
So,
cheap stuff, bro. Because it was either that or some bread ones, and I ain't.
you gotta relax.
No, it was actually either that or some Sean's, and I was.
There.
I
But
ain't
you already
breaking
out here
the.
stunting though.
Oh, bro, she's trying to all the
She already
time.
be out here stunting.
Yeah.
I gotta catch up to her.
I'm trying to catch up to her myself now.
Jeez. But yeah, so
What up?
I think we've come to the conclusion of the show.
Yes. Chris is like, I'm trying to watch this unveiling real quick.
Well, they're doing Ratchet and Clank, and Ratchet and Clank is my shit. But yeah,
I'm watching it too. Graphics look good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I can't wait to see like everything. I'm gonna rewatch it too later tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sony's definitely getting all $600 of my dollars for this.
Definitely. Next gen, I need. Yeah. I've never been on time to a console release.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've never had day one editions.
Mm-hmm.
So this one right here, this next one.
Day one.
Oh, I'm doing day one plus the extra controller.
Me and Mike did day one for PlayStation 4. I remember.
Did it have anything special?
What did it have? I forgot what came out around that time.
Because I know for the Xbox One, the controller says day one on it.
Oh no, we didn't. I don't think we got anything like
cheap
cool like that. Yeah, we didn't get anything cool. So like Sony loves us, but they don't love us that much. They're I know. I could be wrong, but because it was so long ago, so I don't remember. But I don't remember I don't know if they had like anything like special to it, which I wish they did. But this one, I hope for it. If they do, I'm definitely doing it.
I'm copping regardless. I need day one.
Yeah, I'm a definitely put in my pre-order and then be outside talking
outside with your face masks, because we'll still be in that world. No, we're gonna be in this world for at least a whole another year. That's the norm, bro. That's just what it is. I want
that to be the norm. There are things from this that I would want them to keep, but there are certain things I just don't want to ever see again. I do like the little
plexiglass.
I like the plexiglass, but I also like the 6 feet apart in line thing. I don't like it being outside, but I just like because I've had issues where I've gotten into arguments with people in restaurants because they're literally standing over my neck.
Yeah.
And that's like I don't like when I can feel somebody breathing on me, and I don't like people too close to me because I don't do well with crowds anyway, but I also don't like when people are standing too close to me because I feel like you're
personal
trying to do something. Yeah. And so I've gotten to some shouting matches with people because they don't feel like they're that close, but I'm like, bro, like if I literally take one step back, we are literally on top of each other. That's not cool for me. So I do like the little 6 feet apart. Like, let's keep us. Give me my space, my G. Let me live. Let me breathe. But so if you guys are wondering what that lovely shirt is on Gabe's that Gabe is wearing.
Oh, this is true.
We have released our friends, our 2.0 friends and family tee.
Yes, sir.
Also we have released our postcard tee,
which is 98% sold out. There's only one left.
Yeah, so if you can get to the last size, get to the last size. So whenever you're seeing this, if it's still there,
cop it.
Get to it now.
It's a 2X, by the way. It's a purple.
There you go. So, but yeah, so we this past Monday we launched our website and we did a release, which would be the Friends and Family in 2 colors, agave and vintage gold.
Mm-hmm.
We released our postcard tee as well in ivory, bay, and what was the third one?
Orchid.
Orchid.
Orchid,
Yeah,
however you pronounce it.
yeah. So we released
We do not discriminate here.
a 5-panel hat, 2 colors,
Bro,
black and tiger camo.
tiger camo.
So if you guys are interested, definitely go to that. It's on unlaced.family. It's www.unlaced.family. Yes, it's a dope domain name.
Dumping.
Shout out to Gabe
Mm-hmm.
for finding it. But yeah, check it out. Just released Monday. A lot of like Gabe said, postcard tees are pretty much sold out. So if you can get to last size, get to it.
Friends and family,
Friends
we're
and family.
probably like 60% through the
Yeah.
inventory.
Yeah, I just checked last night, and I didn't know how
Yeah,
much.
it might even be like 70% through.
Yeah.
We're pretty far into it.
Yeah. Thank you for everybody that purchased.
We also have youth tees. Youth.
Oh yeah, sorry. We have a youth mint friends and family tee as well. So if you guys are looking for something for people that are of the younger age that can't fit like
The
adult
adult
clothes,
sizing.
yeah, we have youth. I haven't seen the inventory on that. I don't know what that looks like.
I think we're about halfway through that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely check that out. You can watch all of our podcasts on the website as well as shop there. We will constantly be adding to the website, so please make sure you check that out. We definitely appreciate everybody that's supported up to this point. Everybody that has purchased a shirt, that's purchased multiple shirts, that's purchased for the first time, that's purchased probably for the last time. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for helping us grow. Everybody killed this release. Like, this was a great release. The feedback is unbelievable. The friends and family, I will say again, the friends and family is not sold out because I've been having this issue a lot where people are contacting me saying that the friends and family isn't showing up. Friends and family is the one with the small friends and family in cursive on the shirt. The postcard tee is the one with unlaced on the front. So just so you guys know the difference, because I've had a lot of people ask me, like, oh, the friends and family is sold out, and it's like, nope, you're looking at the postcard tee. They are all separated. You can see them individually by color, so you'll be able to know which one you're getting, so you don't think that anything is sold out. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting. Again, you guys can check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as Google Podcasts. To all of our audio listeners, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. For everybody that's watching on YouTube, thank you again for watching. And please, everybody, share this, download this, like, comment, give us your thoughts on any of the topics that we talked about. We'd love to talk to you guys. We'd love to interact and hear your guys' opinion. If you guys disagree with this, if you agree with us, I love conversation. I love debate. So please give me your viewpoint of everything that's going on. What do you think that Flight Club and Riff LA and stores of that nature should be doing with the customers that they lost the inventory for? How do you feel about Adidas and their co-workers protesting against the racial inequality in the company? How do you feel about Jordan brand? How do you feel about Nike brand? How do you feel about all this? Like, just talk to us. We want to hear. Any lasting thoughts, words?
I briefly want to touch on this subject. Really quick, like 2-minute spiel.
No, please go ahead.
For anyone out there who feels that, and I speak from experience. This is how I felt maybe sometime last week. For anyone out there who feels that they're in between this massive scale issue, you're not wrong. We are going through a very different time with obviously the pandemic and obviously our issues in inequality. And you might feel like you're in a position where you don't know what to say, or you don't know if you can continue about your day-to-day life, posting on social media, talking to your friends about things that aren't the current issues. And it can affect people in a manner that can make them feel like they're not doing the right thing. And I think people shouldn't feel that way. And if you do feel that way, know that there are many things you can do to still be you, but also taking that 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes of your day to dedicate it to pushing that agenda as well in your own manner, your own outlet, whether it's just you going through some credible source and you're just quickly reposting, or if you're signing a petition and just simply leaving the link in your bio. All of those little things matter and they count. And if you attack yourself and you put yourself on pause and you're wondering if you're doing not enough or you're doing nothing at all, don't let yourself get there, because I was there. And it's like you become stagnant for the day or two, and you just see the you just seeing other people doing what you think you should be doing and you not doing it only makes you feel worse.
Mm.
And it's okay to be lost and confused, but know that you can really find that information that will help you feel better and will help you feel like you can do more.
Mm.
And I just think that people really need to take a time and reflect on themselves
Mm.
and realize that you won't solve the issue on your own, but you can help the grander picture, and you can help your friends, and you can help whoever you want to help
Mm.
in more ways than just one.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that should be slightly touched upon, because I did see some people kind of guilting other people for not putting the same energy out there for this cause or for that cause. And yeah, you're right.
Mm.
If you can fill up your story with like 15 posts a day just off of your personal life, you can take some time to look into other issues, but don't let it affect you negatively.
Yeah.
There's many ways, and there's many positive outlets, and there's even if it's just you reading, you're teaching yourself, and that's good.
Mm.
um I just wanted to touch on that. I see people guilt tripping other people for not using their platform,
Yeah.
and for not using their efforts and their energy, um for certain subjects, and it can get touchy for some
Yeah.
people.
Well, and I want to kind of piggyback off of that. I spoke about it a little bit in this podcast, if you guys remember, but um, I take breaks from social media. Not like long days and days of breaks, but I will take 10, 20 minutes, maybe sometimes hour. I might take a nap or
Mm-hmm.
whatever to just kind of get away from social media, because there's a lot of trauma on social media right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big person that I can get numb to it, and I have my own things mentally that I deal with. And so seeing a lot of trauma puts me in a bad headspace
Mm-hmm.
that makes me not feel productive.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like Gabe is saying, like, don't let people guilt trip you into feeling like you're not doing enough, or if you need to do something, if you feel like you like, do it at your own pace, but understand that you can make a difference by just taking 5 minutes, 10 minutes out of your day to
Mm-hmm.
maybe somebody on your end, maybe somebody that follows you didn't look at it in a certain perspective. Maybe
Exactly.
you might have somebody be enlightened by the way you share something. But
Exactly.
also, do not overload your senses with trauma or things that you are not comfortable with. That is the main thing I always push for people, because I have a lot of people that deal with mental health, and and we have the same feelings, like, where it's like, I just have to log off. Like, I just gotta like take a step away, like, because I can only see somebody being beaten. I can only see somebody being shot. I can only see somebody um being abused. I can only see it so many times before I start to get either upset or get depressed.
Yeah.
And because you feel like you can't do anything, and you feel like like for somebody like me, I feel like I could be the next person.
Mm-hmm.
I literally last night when I got home, there were cops that had 3 black teenagers on the side, sitting on a curb.
Mm-hmm.
And I instantly, like, my heart dropped because it's like there's 3 cop cars, 3 teens, and they're all surrounding these kids. And the reason why they were surrounding them, and I literally stopped because the reason why they had them on the curb was because one of their friends had passed away. Whether it be I don't know like how he passed away, but they passed away, and they put up on this, there's like a sign on the trail, and they put a bunch of balloons, happy birthday balloons, just like that for him, and then spray painted "I love you, Mac" on the walls. So of
Mm-hmm.
course, they're vandalizing. So that was the reason why, because they weren't in handcuffs, like they weren't in any like situation. The cops had said that they were like waiting for their parents to get there to pick them up, so they weren't going to take them in or
Mm-hmm.
like that. They understood what happened, and I'm glad that that was, that it was not anything worse. Like I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't put them in handcuffs. I'm glad that they didn't uh treat them lesser than. But because I've been seeing trauma so much day after day after day,
Mm-hmm.
when I see black teens sitting on a curb with cops surrounding them, I instantly think something bad is going to happen. Um, and if you feel that way, if you feel about way about anything, like anything, it doesn't have to be specifically to um, police brutality, but if it's anything, take your time. Like take your time away from anything. Do something that helps you. Take a walk, work
Yeah,
out.
everyone processes
Yeah,
differently.
and so, but at the same time, like Gabe was saying, I really want people to emphasize and understand that um, everybody's voice matters. I don't
Yeah.
want people to believe that there's if there's too many people saying no and you want to say yes, that you're always going to be not going to be heard. You will always be heard no
Yeah.
matter what. As long as
Mm-hmm.
you're making that effort to make your voice heard, please speak your mind. Speak your mind. Say how you feel. Um, I think me and Gabe have, kind of shown that example. Like we
Mm-hmm.
speak our mind. We say how we feel, and no matter what, if we don't agree on something, it's still how he feels. It's still how I feel, but we don't lose anything from that.
Yeah.
And Gabe sees things different than I do, and I see things differently than Gabe does. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, there are things that I don't catch that he sees, and there's
Mm-hmm.
things that he catch that I catch that he doesn't see.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the one thing that you have to take away when you look at when you make your voice heard. There are things that people don't see that they may not think of. You may see it.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you enlighten people, and don't
Yeah.
do it in a belittling way. Belittling way.
Yeah.
Do it in a way of trying to educate somebody, but also be sympathetic to the fact that what if they don't want to know, don't force them.
Yeah.
Like make them. If you can't force somebody to do some to take in information, you can't force somebody to feel the same way that you feel. But as long as you let it be known how you feel and like how you see something, that's good enough. That's good.
Exactly.
I see a lot of people that I know personally that don't have to say a damn thing, but
Mm-hmm.
they said things. Like even the conversation we had, Gabe, like when before we earlier this week or last week when he was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yo, like we had a legit conversation about this, and like how do we feel when it comes to this as a brand, as a company, and stepping forward this, and we feel the same way. Like we want to speak our mind, and we want to have our voices heard. We have our platform to do that. So we're going to do that. We're not
Mm-hmm.
going to be silent just because we're just a sneaker, or we're just a sneaker podcast, or we're a company that is into sneakers, so we're just going to stick to sneakers. No, I want us to talk about everything and anything that bothers us, and you guys are going to hear it. If you guys don't agree, hey, sorry about that, but again, this is how we feel.
What the
Um,
heck? Sorry,
no,
dude.
are you good? So make sure that you guys listen to what Gabe said. Like take those minutes out of the day, and sign that petition. Make your voice heard, or even if you need to take that time to step back and get your mental together, get everything inside you to feel
Yeah.
better, to push forward, because this is a rough time for everybody.
It really is, and the fact that a lot of people are still at home and can't escape it per se. Like if you feel bad, like you were saying, checking out on social media for a couple of minutes, hours, whatever you need, it'll still be there when you get back to it.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't truly escape it. You just have to find your own way of coping with it,
Yeah.
and your own way of really informing or helping or simply just signing a petition without sharing it to the world that you did it. I think, like you said, now more than ever does the smallest voice matter, you
Yeah.
know. And just know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Whether it's on a extremely massive supporting end where you're a very vocal person,
Mhm.
or you're just a quiet individual who would like to know more, you know, you'll never come off as wrong by all of a sudden now jumping into this fight 2 weeks
Yeah.
later, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
I would
man.
say we'll definitely have some petitions in the bio. If
Yeah.
there's any petitions that you guys feel like should be shared, please put them in the comments. Any any donation funds, like please,
Mhm.
share them.
Mhm.
Just it's never too much. It's never too little to help anybody, especially in this time. So please, if you have a donation fund that is something for what's going on, that is helping, and you think other people see it, that follow us and that watch us, please put in the comments below so people can see it and help out. And yeah, that's yeah,
That's a wrap.
yeah. So you guys have,
Mental health, y'all.
yeah, please take care of yourselves.
Mhm.
Everybody, please find ways to make your day happy, because
Yeah.
it's rough looking at the internet and finding things. I did a lot of unfollowing too on my Instagram, because I was like, I got to see, like, there's a lot of stuff I don't want to see in general, but there's also, like, I'm like, I want to see some funny shit too right now. Like, I just need to see
Yeah.
some shit that's funny. Like, I
Mhm.
can't do serious stuff right now. So if you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll understand, because I'm just like, there's a lot of shit that's funny right now that I just can't help but laugh at. But yeah, so that is a wrap on this episode. We will see you guys next time.
Is that how it goes? Cut.
Yeah. Well, in action, but yeah, that
Oh yeah.
it's for the
We
start.
needed one and at the beginning. We
Yeah.
needed the beginning and the end. Yeah.
So you just scream cut.
Cut.
All right, y'all. Oh, we'll talk to y'all later.
All right, man.
All
Peace,
right.
y'all.
Yep. Yep.